the supreme dragon of the era of Tamers. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 251 Dances with a Dragon. Chen Wei did not prepare the Elite 3-piece set in advance, not because of confidence, but because he set his sights on the Condensing Star Pill. As a 6th level top-grade pill, the Condensing Star Pill can not only increase the source star level of users below the 4th level by a full star, but can even cast a perfect star when the Beastmaster ignites the spark, reducing the difficulty of the user igniting the spark multiple times in the future, ensuring that there will be no death. In short, the more talented the Beastmaster is, the stronger the spark ignited. In the historical records of Donghu country, even if the probability of death of a Beastmaster igniting a spark is low, there are still several demon-level geniuses who died under the burning of their own sparks. In order to avoid this situation, the annual reward for the top scorer of the Beastmaster College entrance examination at Zidane University is the Condensing Star Pill. Thinking of this, Chen Wei was silent for a while, and then murmured in a low voice, "I hope I won't fail to break through this time." After all, his source star has an unprecedented second innate talent, and the difficulty of igniting the spark can be imagined. Now he only hopes that this Condensing Star Pill, which is said to be 100% successful in promotion, can help him successfully complete the promotion. Chen Wei first summoned Kai Ling and Bai Luo to act as guards, then swallowed the Condensing Star Pill into his stomach, closed his eyes and meditated, preparing to start the breakthrough of the source star. As Chen Wei meditated and absorbed and refined the strands of source power wandering between heaven and earth, the Condensing Star Pill that melted in his mouth also turned into vast and warm pure source power, which was continuously poured into his source star like a surging sea wave. After receiving this blessing, the orange light on Chen Wei's source star became more and more intense, until finally a barely perceptible white light began to appear. The source star has been nurtured to the extreme, and now is the time to ignite the spark. Feeling the transformation of the source star in his body, Chen Wei's face became more and more solemn. Because the next ignition of the spark is the most difficult and dangerous sublimation stage of this breakthrough. At this time, with the pure medicinal power of the Condensing Star Pill accumulating and brewing in the source star, the white light blooming from the source star became more and more intense. Before the white light faded, Chen Wei clenched his fist, used all his mental power and source power as nourishment, and then used his own will to push the source star to ignite the fire. As the dazzling white sparks rose from the top corner of the source star, Chen Wei's body trembled violently, and some unknown liquid with red and black continued to flow out from the pores all over his body. Under the tense gaze of Kai Ling and Bai Luo, as time passed, the temperature of Chen Wei's whole body became higher and higher, and even the unknown liquid on his body's surface turned into boiling steam under this high temperature. As the white small flames on the source star continued to grow, the size of Chen Wei's source star began to shrink continuously, and it seemed to completely become an energy source for the burning of the small flames. Just when the size of Chen Wei's source star was reduced to half of its original size due to the sublimation and reshaping of the flame, the majestic medicinal power of the Nixing Pill directly flowed to the flame. As a result, the white flame suddenly soared, and the orange brilliance of Chen Wei's source star was also dyed white by the hot white flame. Enduring the burning sensation from the source star, Chen Wei used his mind to control the newly born white spark to merge with one pole of the 5-pointed source star. Under the protection of the power of the star condensing pill, everything seemed so simple, and the white spark merged smoothly. The next second, the high temperature emitted by the spark gradually dissipated, and a ray of white flame appeared at the top corner of the source star. Success! Chen Wei's mouth corners slightly raised. Under the illumination of the white flame, Chen Wei's source star strength, purity and mental power were all rising wildly at a terrifying speed. When the source star as a whole bloomed with white light representing the 4th level cultivation, two mysterious forces were suddenly born. Chen Wei's mind was shocked, and he couldn't help but open his eyes. The first thing that came into his eyes was the nervous 3 pets. Gurgle, there was a sound from his stomach. Before he had time to celebrate his breakthrough, he felt a hunger coming from deep in his brain. Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing his saliva, took out the lobster meat that had been prepared long ago from the star ring, and ate it in big mouthfuls. Finally alive, after finishing his meal, Chen Wei couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief as he felt a strong and surging power in his body. Fortunately, he had done enough work on the strategy of breaking through the 4th level of the source device and prepared a lot of food in advance, otherwise he would probably eat the ingredients in the star ring raw because of excessive hunger. After scanning the surroundings, Chen Wei stopped his eyes on Kai Ling and Yutong. Because of his advanced feedback, the two pets also gained a lot of benefits, especially Yutong, who is expected to break through to the lower 3rd level within a few days. But compared to these, he is the one who has gained the most benefits. Chen Wei closed his eyes again and began to sense. He could feel that in this advancement, his innate talent also ushered in a huge transformation. First of all, the perspective spirit eye, it seems to have another trait. Chen Wei opened his eyes slightly, and a golden light flashed. The terrifying feeling of being completely seen through made Yutong, who had been watching the Beastmaster, shrink her head. Perspective spirit eye breaking delusion. When actively activated, the perspective spirit eye will have the ability to see through everything in the world, and everything seen is real. Unless the gap between the two sides is huge, even the secret method of concealing the breath cannot prevent the identification of the Pahun Lingmao. It looks like a good reconnaissance skill, but it can't be used casually, Chen Wei sighed. Although this Pahun Lingmao is very strong, if this reconnaissance skill is used improperly, it is easy to arouse the hatred of the strong. No one will not pay attention to the privacy and security, let alone this world where strength is respected. However, according to Chen Wei's perception, the ability of Pahun Lingmao to see through everything in the world should be used to increase the success rate of the elixir. In this way, under the guidance of the teacher, I should be able to break through to the 3rd Yaodan Master, or even the 4th Yaodan Master soon. Thinking of this, Chen Wei couldn't help but smile, and then look down at the colorful energy brilliance that was constantly flowing on his palm. Yes, that's right, like the perspective spiritual eye, with the ignition of the source star fire, his second talent, the power of controlling the dragon, also ushered in a new trait, dancing with the dragon. Dancing with the dragon, you can use the power of controlling the dragon in your body to perfectly enhance the power of your own dragon pet. The more dragon controlling power is consumed, the higher the attributes of the dragon pet will be in a short period of time. The strength enhanced by dragon controlling power has no upper limit. Note, after possessing the trait of dancing with dragons, the host's dragon affinity will be increased by 2 additional levels. After sensing the change in talent, Chen Wei had a premonition. With his current dragon affinity, unless there is a huge conflict of interest, even the evil dragons with bad records will not actively attack him, let alone other dragons. What a perverted enhancement talent. Chapter 252 Mysterious Black Smoky Mountain. June 28, the weather was fine. The Black Smoky Mountain in Lanayu district should be not far from here. Ignoring the excited looks from the Beastmasters around him, Chen Wei walked alone on the small road in the suburbs, looking at the map on his mobile phone navigation, with a helpless look on his face. Since he won the championship of the Rosewood University qualifying tournament 4 days ago, he has been noticed and approached by many Beastmasters every time he goes out. At first, Chen Wei was in a good mood. After all, this was also a novel experience, but as more and more people with ill intentions came, he began to feel annoyed. "Hello, are you Chen Wei?" At this moment, an excited and beautiful girl suddenly came forward and asked. Yes, looking at the girl in front of him with a look of admiration and respect, and a group of girls cheering for her not far away, Chen Wei smiled and responded. "I'm your fan, can you sign an autograph for me?" The girl took out a pen and paper. No problem, Chen Wei felt relieved, of course he would not refuse such a small thing. "Wow, it's really Chen Wei. Can you sign for me?" "Me too, I want one too." Seeing the girl successfully get the autograph, the girls who were waiting there suddenly came forward excitedly and said excitedly. It must be said that Chen Wei is now very well known in Rosewood City. Even if he wears a mask and walks on the street, he will be recognized instantly. After all, it has not been long since the end of the game. Chen Wei's handsome appearance, coupled with his overwhelming strength that completely crushes his opponents, has rapidly increased his status in the hearts of the new generation of Beastmasters. To put it in an exaggerated way, he has almost become the ideal and goal pursued by most ordinary family Beastmasters. Chen Wei took the paper and pen handed over by the girls, and while signing, he looked at the mountain in the distance with a faint black smoke in his eyes. That was the destination of his trip, Black Smoky Mountain. It is said that Black Smoky Mountain is filled with poisonous gas and has no vitality. Even the trees within 100 miles of the mountain range are highly toxic plants. Even if a Beastmaster accidentally inhales a breath of poison gas, he may die instantly. Fortunately, these poison gases will not overflow and have been shrouded in this mountain, as if protecting some treasure. In addition, the roar of a giant dragon can occasionally be heard from the inside of Black Smoky Mountain, as if a giant dragon is living in seclusion here, and even attracted the attention of many Beastmasters. However, because the Red Sandalwood City Beastmaster Association has long listed Black Smoky Mountain as a forbidden area and explicitly prohibits Beastmasters from entering, few Beastmasters dare to violate a ban and go to Black Smoky Mountain blatantly. Why would Senior Sister Ten let me come to such a forbidden area? Chen Wei smiled bitterly in his heart. After saying goodbye to his fans, he summoned Kei Ling, then turned over and rode on, and arrived at the foot of Black Smoky Mountain at lightning speed. No entry here, violators will die. Looking at the sign set up at the entrance, Chen Wei subconsciously looked at the mountain not far away that was shrouded in a dangerous atmosphere, and a strong sense of danger suddenly surged in his heart. It's worthy of being a forbidden area set up by the Beast Taming Association. Whenever I think of entering it, a haze of death descends. This is definitely not a place I can enter, Chen Wei thought to himself. There is a breath of dragon here. Kei Ling looked at the Black Smoky Mountain with solemn eyes, while Yutong lay lazily on the shoulder of the beast tamer like a snowball without moving. Dragon? It seems that the rumors are true, but the dragon controlling power in my body has not fluctuated. Chen Wei frowned slightly. He did not dare to act rashly and chose to wait here quietly. 20 minutes later, a dazzling red light rushed from the blue sky. Soon, the speed of the red light gradually decreased, revealing a luxurious floating car, and then it slowly fell in the open space in front of Chen Wei. The rear door of the car opened, and Chen Wei first saw a pair of long legs wearing sexy black stockings and black high heels falling to the ground, then a black straight skirt, and finally a head of eye-catching beautiful blonde hair. "Hello, Professor Tan," Chen Wei bowed. Professor Tan seemed to be in a good mood, and smiled and waved his hand. "Don't be so reserved, just call me Senior Sister Tan in private." Hearing this, Chen Wei smiled slightly. "Okay, Senior Sister Tan, Senior Sister Tan, is this the teacher's 9th disciple? You are really handsome. Nice to meet you, my name is Chu Shui, and I am your 7th senior sister." At this time, a woman who looked only 28 years old came down from the driving seat of the red car. Her black hair spread naturally like a waterfall. She wore a slim shirt on her upper body, which made her chest look particularly full. She was slender and tall, and had a capable temperament. Chu Shui, 29 years old, is a first-class instructor in the alchemy department of Zidian University. She is a genius beastmaster of the same class as Sister Muring. At the age of 28, she successfully broke through the king level and is even a master alchemist. She is not only a famous genius instructor of Zidian University, but also a rival of Sister Muring who is both an enemy and a friend. Thinking of this, Chen Wei said, "Hello, Senior Sister Chu." In response, Chu Shui also greeted her with a smile. Her feud with Liu Muring would not affect this rising star. Moreover, she is not stupid, and there is no need to take the risk of offending a promising beastmaster. Recently, the teacher is busy in seclusion and has no time to teach you how to make pills. So before school starts, I will be responsible for teaching you how to make pills. Hearing this, Chen Wei was delighted. Although there is a gap between master alchemists, it is a great thing for him to get personal guidance from a master. If he could watch Sister Tan's alchemy process, he might be able to get a huge amount of Denki, thus giving birth to a stronger spiritual eye. Add a contact number, Junior Brother Chen. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Although my research on alchemy is not as good as Sister Tan's, it is no problem to solve your doubts. Chu Shui smiled calmly. Then I'll trouble you two senior sisters, Chen Wei said gratefully. Okay, let's go in and talk about anything. The third junior brother is still waiting for us in the Black Smoky Mountain, Sister Tan urged. Third senior brother, Chen Wei showed a trace of doubt in his eyes. Didn't Sister Muning say that she only had 2 senior sisters in Rosewood University? How come a third senior brother suddenly appeared? Little junior brother. The third senior brother is a simple person. You'd better be polite to him later, otherwise you may suffer a little later, Chu Shui reminded. When she first saw her so-called third senior brother, she was shocked and subconsciously called him a monster, but she turned around and was hated by the third senior brother. Chapter 253, Growl Monster Dragon. Seeing senior sister Chu's depressed expression, Chen Wei suddenly became curious. Third junior brother is the administrator of the teacher's resource treasury. He is deeply trusted by the teacher and is mainly responsible for the record and exchange of the master's points. If you have beast resources that you want to sell, you can sell them to third junior brother and exchange them for star coins or points. The points you get can be used to exchange for beast resources in the teacher's treasury, senior sister Tan explained as they walked. Hearing this, Chen Wei's eyes lit up. In addition to exchanging beast resources, are there other ways to exchange master points? Of course there are. For example, if you won the first place in this qualifying competition, the teacher specially rewarded you with 10,000 points. These 10,000 points are enough to exchange for a 6th level pill in the teacher's treasury. 6th level pill. Chen Wei's face suddenly showed a smile. Judging from the value alone, the 6th level pill is much more precious than the 6th level king resources. Seeing this, senior sister Tan smiled. Black Smoke Mountain is where the teacher's treasure house is. Third junior brother has been guarding here to prevent any accidents. This gathering is mainly to let you understand some of the rules of our sect and get familiar with faces. The teacher hasn't recruited disciples for a long time. As fellow disciples, I think it is necessary for everyone to get to know each other. 5th junior sister and 6th junior sister are professors at Liushu University and Shihuan University respectively. Because of the busy affairs these 2 days, they can't attend this gathering. We can only meet next time. Is third senior brother also a teacher at Zidin University? Chen Wei asked curiously, and then glanced at the poisonous fog approaching on Black Smoke Mountain without leaving a trace. Compared with other senior sisters, Chen Wei is more interested in third senior brother. After all, he is the big boss who controls the treasure house of the sect. That guy can still be a teacher. When mentioning third senior brother, Chu Shuai was immediately full of anger. Over the years, the 4 words "a word is worth 1,000 gold" have been fully demonstrated on her. Because of the word monster that she blurted out at the beginning, until now, she has to pay a premium of 10% to 20% over other fellow disciples when exchanging beast control resources for master's points. Over the past 10 years, the beast control resources she spent on exchanging points with premium are worth hundreds of millions of star coins, equivalent to several level 6 king beast control resources, which makes her feel very distressed. Chu Shuai said concisely, third brother is either making pills or sleeping, so he didn't work at Rosewood University. He turned out to be an ascetic monk. Chen Wei's eyes showed some surprise, and he thought to himself. As they chatted, they came to the entrance of Black Smoky Mountain. Stand where you are, don't leave this protective shield. Senior sister Tan glanced at Chen Wei and took out a colorful dragon scale. The next second, a colorful protective shield instantly enveloped the 3 people, and then took them flying quickly. At this time, the surrounding purple-black poisonous fog obscured Chen Wei's vision. The thick poisonous fog made him completely unable to see everything outside the protective shield. He could only feel that he was moving quickly. Little junior brother, be careful. This is the poisonous fog that third senior brother has set up. A king-level beast tamer will die within a dozen seconds after smelling it. The poison is so strong that even an epic master would not want to be contaminated by it, Chu Shuai explained. There was no other way. If he could not beat third senior brother, how could he be willing to exchange points at a premium? He would have beaten that idiot to vent his anger. Is third senior brother also an epic master? Chen Wei looked at senior sister Tan curiously. Tan Zuking smiled and said nonchalantly, if we really fight, I am actually no match for third senior brother, so strong. Chen Wei was shocked. You have to know that senior sister Tan is an epic beast tamer. Even she is inferior to him. You can imagine how strong this third senior brother is. Chu Shuai shook his head. Senior sister Tan, you are too modest. If you send 2 main pets, the third brother will have to flee. Seeing some doubts on Chen Wei's face, Chu Shuai said directly, the third brother is actually a strange dragon, Chen Wei, a strange dragon that can make elixirs. After a long time, his third brother turned out to be a dragon. Seeing Chen Wei's blank face, Chu Shuai smiled slightly. The third brother is a 7th level overlord dragon. You will understand when we meet later. Thinking of his recent surge in dragon affinity, Chen Wei couldn't help but freeze in place. A 7th level overlord dragon, won't my secret be exposed? Don't worry, the third brother's personality is not as arrogant as other dragons. It's actually easy to get along with. You just need to treat it with a normal heart. Seeing that the little brother looked a little wrong, Tan Zuking instructed. At this time, The three of them had arrived at the central area of Black Smoky Mountain, and the poisonous fog that had been permeating around the defense shield suddenly dissipated. A huge crystal gate made of purple jade crystal marrow, like a copper wall and iron wall, blocked them. I saw the star ring on Sister Tan's finger flickering. Boom! The next second, a heavy sound rang out, and the purple jade crystal gate slowly rose up. Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank, and the first thing that caught his eye was the countless source gold piled up into a mountain, emitting dazzling light. Above the source gold was a giant dragon with a strange color, seemingly sleeping. The ferocious head of this giant dragon had a pair of huge dragon eyes like lava balls, and it looked a bit like a red dragon, but its sky blue dragon scale neck had obvious blue dragon characteristics, and under the colorful dragon body were emerald green limbs. These strong and powerful limbs seemed to have unparalleled power and terrifying venom, and the huge black dragon wings behind them, like bats, were full of the evil breath of death. As if it had sensed the visitor, its slender dragon tail, which looked like white jade, swung slightly, and then suddenly opened its terrifying dragon eyes that shocked people. Name of the strange beast: Ground Monster Dragon. Attributes of the strange beast: ice, fire, poison, dragon. Racial level: epic overlord. Strength level: upper level of the 7th order. Racial skills: 5-color dragon breath, frozen world, burning earth, deadly poison hell, overlord dragon power. Introduction to the strange beast, an unprecedented hybrid dragon. Even among the 5-color dragons that defy morality, its existence is an extremely incredible thing. Perhaps because of the defect of hybrid blood, it has only awakened the power of white dragon, red dragon and green dragon at present, and the power of blue dragon and black dragon is still deeply hidden in its blood. Chen Wei swallowed his throat. He had only used the talent of identification, and did not even use the power of perspective and delusion breaking, but he could see the information of the third senior brother so clearly. "What's the matter?" the strange dragon greeted Tanzuking with sleepy eyes. Then he seemed to realize that he was being watched, his face darkened, and he looked in the direction of the gaze with displeasure. "What is this?" The ground monster dragon was slightly startled, and his ferocious head actually revealed a bit of surprise. Chapter 254, Flame Unicorn. However, the slightly surprised expression of Grau's dragon looked ferocious to Chu Shui, and her breathing suddenly stagnated. "Is this the teacher's new 9th disciple?" Grau looked at Chen Wei, who was following behind Tanzuking and dared to peek at him without permission, and asked in a thunderous voice. It was because this 9th disciple was very pleasing to the eye that he didn't want to care about it. If other beast masters dared to do this, he would have to let those blind guys feel the wrath of the dragon, such as the little sister in front of him who was holding her breath. "Yes, Grau. Remember to add 10,000 points to the little brother's account first. That's the teacher's reward for him." Tanzuking smiled. "Hello, third brother." Chen Wei bowed slightly. If it weren't for his high affinity with dragons, with his steady temperament, he really wouldn't dare to use his identification talent as soon as he met. "Boy, what's your name?" Grau asked condescendingly. For a moment, the terrifying dragon might as vast as the sea instantly enveloped the entire Yuanjin mountain cave, and the materialized spiritual shock of the blazing power seemed to freeze the surrounding air. Chen Wei introduced himself naturally, as if he did not feel the terrifying dragon might that permeated the surroundings. "Yes, you are qualified to call me by my name. You can call me Grau from now on." The giant dragon withdrew his gaze from Chen Wei and said in a gentle tone. "Grau." Chen Wei's heart moved. Generally speaking, this type of 5-color dragon lives in the Saint European Alliance and is rarely seen in Donghua. Moreover, compared with a mainstream name in Donghua, the name Grau is more like the name in the Saint European Alliance. Hearing this, Chu Shui's expression froze. She glanced at Chen Wei, with a bit of disbelief on her face, and felt that her head was a little confused. They are both human beings, why does this strange dragon treat them differently? Or is it that the third senior brother slept too much and became stupid, and even his extremely cruel character became amiable? At this time, noticing Chu Shui's mood change, Grau glanced at her coldly, his voice was icy. "Junior sister Chu, do you have any opinion about me?" No. Chu Shui smiled bitterly and shook her head. "I thought too much. Third senior brother is still that stubborn dragon." "Third senior brother, this time I want to exchange for a concentrating god pill," Chu Shui said. This time, in addition to meeting the world-famous junior brother, she also planned to buy a concentrating god pill for herself. It was because of the help of the Concentrating God Pill that she was able to successfully advance to the king. Concentrating God Pill, a 6th level middle grade pill. After taking it, it can slightly increase the mental power of the consumer. It is of great help to the Beastmaster to ignite the third spark, and can increase the success rate by up to 10%. Exchange price: 40,000 points. Although Chu Shuai is a master alchemist, he is only at the early stage of the 6th glory, and is still unable to refine a 6th level middle grade concentrating God pill. She exchanged this pill not for taking it, but to observe and analyze the teacher's method of refining the concentrating pill, hoping to gain insights from it. 48,000 points. Grau secretly looked at Chen Wei with his peripheral vision, and then said nonchalantly, "Greedy dragon, damn vampire. How could the teacher let such a treasure-obsessed dragon be the guardian of the treasury? Isn't he afraid that the third brother will embezzle?" Chu Shuai clenched her hands tightly, and complained wildly in her heart. "Okay, third brother." She forced a smile on her face, and then handed over a jade white card. "There is no way. The strength is not as good as the dragon. Even if it is squeezed, you can only bear it with a smile." Seeing this, Tan Zuking frowned slightly, but she didn't think of getting ahead. As the guardian of the teacher's treasure house, the salary of junior brother Grau is supported by the 10% exchange fee. Even if he exchanges treasures by himself, he still needs to charge an additional 10%. Junior sister Chu's 20% handling fee was indeed a bit high, but there was nothing she could do. Who made her offend junior brother Zhelong, who needed to recharge his IQ and was still narrow-minded? After swiping the card and deducting the points, Grau's emerald green dragon claws flickered, and a bottle of snow white pills suddenly appeared in his claws, and then he casually threw it to Chu Shuai. "Here, your concentrating pill." After doing this, he suddenly summoned a jade white card and flew it to Chen Wei's palm. 10,000 points can be exchanged for a lot of things. What do you want? Beast taming resources, pills, source devices or secret methods? Grau asked patiently. Seeing this, Chu Shuai, who was still worried about the points, gritted his teeth. Senior sister Tan smiled and thought to herself, interesting, it seems that third junior brother likes Chen Wei very much and can control his temper. Chen Wei subconsciously asked, how many star coins can be exchanged for 10,000 points? Grau was slightly stunned. 10,000 points can be exchanged for 100 million star coins. Do you want to exchange? Chen Wei touched the star ring on his finger and shook his head. According to senior sister Tan, 10,000 points can be exchanged for a 6th level elixir. In this comparison, it seems particularly unprofitable to directly use points to exchange for star coins. Senior brother Grau, I want to take a look at the information of the fire-type alien beast magic core first, Chen Wei said. Yutong is about to be promoted to the 3rd level recently, but the evolutionary resources he prepared are still lacking the most critical fire-type alien beast magic core. These 10,000 points can only be exchanged for a 6th level inferior elixir at most, so it is better to exchange it for a 6th level king magic core with perfect quality. Here is the magic core information, just tell me if you like it. After speaking, Grau Monster Dragon took out a tablet and handed it to Chen Wei. With a bit of expectation in his eyes, Chen Wei slowly scanned the tablet in his hand, and then slowly slid his fingers across the tablet screen to select Flame Broken Rainbow Dragon Magic Core, a level 6 Fire and Dragon dual element resource. The magic core in the body of the Heavenly King race Flame Broken Rainbow Dragon can greatly improve the refiner's resistance to fire skills and the power of flames. It can also be used as a resource for the evolution of Fire and Dragon dual element. Exchange price: 13,000 points. Earth Evil Fire Rhino Magic Core, a level 6 Fire and Earth dual element resource. As an extremely rare Heavenly King race, its magic core has a strong assimilation ability. Using this magic core can evolve the pet into a Fire and Earth dual element pet, and obtain the innate skill of swallowing the Earth Evil Key. This skill allows the pet to continuously absorb the Earth Evil Key to purify its own blood. Exchange price: 15,000 points. Light Flame Unicorn Magic Core, a 6th level light and fire dual element top quality resource. As a dominant race, the magic core of the Holy Light Unicorn contains the power of light. It can be used as a light evolution resource, and can also remove any toxins cast by beasts below the 6th level king. Exchange price: 50,000 points. Chen Wei's eyes reluctantly stayed on the last page. Good stuff, but it's a pity that I can't afford it. Chapter 255, Strange Dragon. At this moment, Growl Monster Dragon came over curiously, and a large shadow suddenly covered Chen Wei's body. Brother Chen, do you want this? The radiant unicorn magic core, a thunderous voice sounded. Looking at the oppressive and terrifying dragon head in front of him, Chen Wei nodded. Then his star ring shone, and fell on the ground in a small hill. How many points can these magic cores be exchanged for? Looking at these glittering magic cores, Growl Monster Dragon's eyes lit up, and the huge dragon claws directly grasped the magic core in the palm of his hand, with a comfortable expression on his face. The level of these magic cores is very low, and the highest strength is only the upper level of the 4th level, which is not worth much. Although Growl Monster Dragon said this, he did not stop counting the magic cores. A total of 253 magic cores can be exchanged for 10,125 points. Considering our brotherhood, we can round it up and count it as 10,000 points. Hearing this, Chen Wei was slightly surprised. It was the first time he had seen this way of rounding up. Even if these 125 points are converted into star coins, the most unprofitable channel will cost 125 W. You just want to give it up? Chen Wei coughed lightly and reminded, in fact, you don't have to round it up, so as not to lose money, senior brother. Seeing this, Chu Shui showed an expression of watching a good show. Junior brother, you are still too young. The greedy dragon will not reason with you. At this time, Growl Monster Dragon scratched his head honestly. Is that so? Then we won't round it up. The total is 10,125 points. Junior brother, are you sure you want to sell it? Chu Shui was silent. Yes, that's right. Chen Wei nodded slightly. This flame unicorn magic core requires 50,000 points. Junior brother, you still need 29,875 points, Growl reminded. You still need so many points. Should I sell the meteorite treasure chest? Chen Wei thought to himself. Since the mysterious dragon egg drilled into the source star, the 8th level source device meteorite treasure chest, which can isolate all breath and source power fluctuations and has top level defense in the internal space, has become useless to Chen Wei. If such an 8th level legendary source device is exchanged for points, it is worth at least 1 million points, but the risk is a bit high. Human nature cannot withstand temptation, and Chen Wei does not want to break up with his master because of this. Seeing Chen Wei's hesitation, Growl Dragon couldn't help but get closer to him, and said in a muffled voice while resisting the pain in his heart. The flame unicorn magic core and the information is mine. If you really want it, I can sell it to you at a low price. Haha, do you know what a low price is, you greedy dragon? Seeing the little junior brother's eyes shining, Chu Shui complained in his heart. Chen Wei, thank you, senior brother. How many points do you plan to sell it for? 50% off? No, it's too bad. 60% off? It feels like a good loss. 70% off. Looking at the dragon in front of him with a tangled face, Chen Wei was a little speechless. In front of the money of the dragon, even his dragon affinity would not play a big role. How about 45,000 points? Growl asked cautiously. Chen Wei shook his head. This discount was not very meaningful to him. It would be better to choose the flame-broken rainbow dragon magic core. After all, he has the talent of the power of controlling dragons. When Yutong evolves into a dragon attribute, he may become even stronger. After determining the target, Chen Wei said, I want to exchange for the flame-broken rainbow dragon magic core. Are you sure you don't want the flame unicorn magic core? Growl subconsciously promoted it. This is his precious collection. If he didn't like Chen Wei, he wouldn't take it out. No, I can't afford it, Chen Wei smiled. By the way, senior brother, I also want to exchange for the perfect quality kixing pill. This is the pill exchange information. Growl handed over another tablet. Chen Wei took the computer and saw the pill he wanted at first sight. Perfect star concentrating pill, a 4th grade top grade pill. The quality of the pill is perfect. It can remove some impurities from the Beastmaster's source star and increase the speed of source star cultivation. Exchange price 1,000 points. Chen Wei directly exchanged 2 star concentrating pills, one for his own use and one to sell to Yu Zilman to reduce his debt. He will not forget that Yu Zilman offered a high price of 45 million star coins for this perfect star concentrating pill. As a result, Chen Wei's points dropped directly to 5,125. Growl, okay, here are your magic core pills and the pass token to enter the Black Smoky Mountain. After putting the exchanged items into the star ring, Chen Wei looked at senior sister Tan. He had wanted to watch the big brother make pills for a long time. Sensing the impatience in Chen Wei's eyes, Tan Zuking smiled and said, "Come with me. Before starting to teach, I need to test your control of the red cloud flame formation diagram." "Understood." Chen Wei followed closely. "Senior Sister Tan, can I watch from the side?" Chu Shuai asked subconsciously. The gold content of the second-level full professor of the alchemy department of Zidian University is not false, and she does not want to miss this opportunity. "Okay," Tan Zuking said. Looking at the background of the three people leaving, Grau Monster Dragon fell into silence. Strange, in addition to Hanji Iao, there is another human who I want to become sworn brothers with. Grau Monster Dragon clenched his dragon claws, and the indestructible source gold under his body was directly crushed into a ball like paper. "It's so annoying. How could I imagine the scene of my junior brother kneeling on the ground and becoming brothers with me, and then conquering the world together, perhaps because of his mixed blood?" Grau Monster Dragon, whose brain was not very good, rolled vigorously on the source gold mountain with a tangled face. For a while, countless precious source golds fell to the ground. And on the edge of these glittering source golds, an enlightenment novel with the title of Peach Garden Oath was lying there quietly. Yes, that's right. Unlike other five-color dragons, Grau's favorite things besides treasure are sleeping and making elixirs, and the second is reading novels. At the beginning, the lonely and young Grau was attracted by the story of swearing to the sky and swearing brotherhood in the Peach Garden Oath, and even wanted to find Hanji Iao to become brothers of the opposite sex. Unlike the five-color dragons who defy morality and reason, Hanji Iao immediately beat Grau up when he saw Grau's rude words and dared to bully his master, and he was so obedient that Grau was completely submissive. So far, Grau's dream of conquering the world with his brothers has ended before it even began. It has to be said that only Grau, who is a little bit brainless, can do this kind of behavior of finding a master to become sworn brothers. But it is also true that if the five-color dragons with normal IQ, they will not choose to worship human beast masters as their teachers. Finally, Grau looked up at the blue sky, and the poisonous gas that was enough to kill a king-level strongman in a short time filled his mouth. "Damn it, it's so rare to meet a human that I like. Forget it, my junior brother is too weak. Only the strong can become Grau's brother." P.S. Thanks to the Butterfly Dragon King Ao Tuna for the 500 starting coins. Thank you for your support. Thank you to all the readers for voting and subscribing. Chapter 256, Star Cleansing Pill. All the buildings in the Black Smoke Mountain tend to be black. Even the alchemy room deep underground, which is made of fire-resistant firestone, is also black. Following Sister Tan, Chen Wei just walked into the alchemy hall and saw alchemy rooms of the same size and emitting faint fluorescence around the hall. Unlike the suitable environment outside, the temperature inside the alchemy hall is extremely high, and there is even a hazy white smoke filling the place. Seeing the curiosity on Chen Wei's face, Sister Tan introduced, "There is a dark evil earth fire in the depths of the Black Smoke Mountain. This smoke is the dark fire mist that junior brother Grau guided the earth fire to the alchemy room. This dark fire mist can increase the cultivation speed of fire-type pets and the success rate of alchemists in alchemy. There is one thing you have to pay attention to. Before your pet reaches the 6th level king, it is best not to let it practice here for a long time, otherwise it will easily be attracted by the dark fire mist, or even indulge in the dark fire mist and cannot extricate itself." Hearing this, Chen Wei's heart trembled, and he subconsciously looked down at the colorful spirit on his wrist. A Greek letter Omega? It's okay. Kayling shook her head and felt that everything was normal. This phantom fire mist will only make fire-type pets addicted. Alchemists and pets of other attributes will not be affected, Senior Sister Tan explained as she walked. Then she walked to a black stone door and pressed her white palm against the door. The closed alchemy room opened automatically. However, at this time, Chen Wei's eyes were attracted by the alchemy cauldron on the right that looked like a huge red crystal, Phantom Evil Black Cauldron, a 7th level source device, made of black star meteorite gold, and then transformed by the burning of the Phantom Evil Earth Fire to become an epic medicine cauldron. Only alchemists with a Phantom Evil Earth Fire can use it. My goodness, this is actually an epic alchemy cauldron. And unlike the alchemy room opened by Senior Sister Tan, this alchemy room that has never been closed is covered by a purple-black magma river, and there is no place for alchemists to stand. That's Brother Grau's alchemy cauldron. Seeing Chen Wei's eyes fixed on the Phantom Evil Black Cauldron, Chu Shuai said with some envy. Brother Grau is also a Grandmaster Alchemist, Chen Wei couldn't help but ask curiously. You know, even for a human strong man, it is a difficult thing to become a Grandmaster Alchemist, not to mention a greedy and aggressive five-colored dragon who worships strength. This has to be said to be a miracle. Chu Shuai's face was strange, almost. It's really a Grandmaster Alchemist. Chen Wei showed an incredible expression on his face. 3 Grandmasters in one family, with a respected status of alchemists in Donghua, wouldn't he be able to walk sideways in the future? How should I put it? Chu Shuai smiled. Compared to the title of Grandmaster Alchemist, perhaps Grandmaster Poison Master is more appropriate. Poison Master, yes, junior brother Grau can only refine poison pills, and the highest he can refine is the 7th level poison pill, but he can't refine other pills, even the 4th level Kixing pill, senior sister Tan explained. Chen Wei, this is too outrageous. Logically speaking, for a pharmacist who can refine the 7th level poison pill, refining the 6th level pill should be as easy as taking something out of a bag. Okay, time is running out. Junior brother, you can start refining pills. It's best if you refine the pills with the greatest confidence and the highest grade. Senior sister Tan stood aside and pointed to the white jade medicine cauldron in the room. Okay, Chen Wei nodded, and the star ring on his finger flashed with a faint light, and Yutong, like a snow-white ball, suddenly appeared in front of him. Yutong's pink nose moved slightly, and her eyes, like blue and red rubies, immediately looked at the phantom fire mist that permeated the surroundings, and an intoxicated expression appeared on her face. Meow, smells so good. A 2nd level upper level titanium crystal puppet can only stay here for 3 days at most, otherwise it will become addicted to the phantom fire mist, senior sister Tan reminded naturally. On the contrary, senior sister Chu's bright eyes lit up slightly when she looked at Yutong, revealing a bit of surprise and love in her eyes. Alchemy is something that requires full concentration. Chen Wei's expression became serious. He did not start to refine the pill directly, but closed his eyes and meditated to adjust his state to the best state. This time he planned to refine the 3rd level superior elixir, Zixing pill. As a superior elixir of the forging star pill, Zixing pill can only be successfully refined by alchemists in the late 3 glory or above. Chen Wei's current level of alchemist, who had just entered the 3 glory, should not have any chance of success, but the previously awakened delusion-breaking spirit eyes gave him full confidence. Unlike other 1st and 2nd level elixirs, if Chen Wei could successfully refine the star-washing pill this time, not only would the debt owed to Yu Zilman be repaid in a short period of time, but he could also use it to absorb a large amount of beast-controlling resources. Even if he failed in the end, it would be a blessing to get the guidance of the Grandmaster-level alchemist on the star-washing pill. Chen Wei's star ring was shining, and dozens of medicinal materials suddenly floated in the air. Star-washing grass, evergreen leaves, ulan flower, black bamboo lotus. These are all the medicinal materials needed to refine the star-washing pill. Could it be that junior brother is really sure? Tan Zuking looked at the medicinal materials floating not far away. Although there was no strange color on her face, her heart had already set off a huge wave. To be honest, she had no interest in fighting. Alchemy was her favorite, which was why she had frankly admitted that her strength was not as good as junior brother Grau. Therefore, even if junior brother Chen Wei won the 1st place in the qualifying competition, she was only a little surprised. However, until this moment, she really experienced what a demon-level genius was. You know, as a professor of the alchemy department of Zidin University, Tan Zuking can see geniuses from major provinces of Donghua every year. It is not surprising to see geniuses. But it is the first time she has seen a genius alchemist like Chen Wei, who is 19 years old, at the peak of the 3rd level of Yuanxing, and is very likely to be in the late stage of Sinai-Ao or above. Interest in junior brother, Tan Zuking showed a charming smile on her face. Unlike the previous formulaic response, she is now interested in Chen Wei. If the junior brother can really successfully refine the Zixing pill, it means that his talent in alchemy is not inferior to her, or it should be said that he is better than her. 3 grandmasters in one family, it sounds good. Maybe there will be a grandmaster of alchemy in the future. The smile on Tan Zuking's face became more and more charming. In her opinion, junior brother Grau, who can only refine poison pills, is not a real grandmaster alchemist at all. On the other side, Chu Shui, who also noticed this, immediately stared at Chen Wei. Looking at his handsome appearance, her eyes suddenly became a little hot. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257, The True Flame of Purification. Even though he had awakened his talent as an alchemist, and was expected to break through to the Grandmaster level of alchemy in the eyes of everyone, he could only successfully refine the star cleansing pill at the age of 20. Not bad. There is another young man in the sect who deserves attention. At this time, Chu Shuai held her hand tightly, feeling a little excited. Since Liu Menging abandoned the alchemy and devoted herself to the career of a researcher, she thought that the passion in her heart had long dissipated. Unexpectedly, she would meet an alchemy genius like Chen Wei now. It's time to start, Yutong. Chen Wei looked at the white jade alchemy cauldron in front of him with a serious expression, and then transmitted his thoughts. Meow, Greek letter Omega, no problem. Yutong nodded her head with full fighting spirit. Chen Wei, fire. Yutong spit out a mouthful of red gold flames at the alchemy cauldron, and then a muffled boom sounded, and the scorching source fire rose in the alchemy cauldron, emitting an astonishingly high temperature. Red gold flames. Tan Zuking, who had known about the titanium crystal puppet, frowned slightly, and then a smile appeared on her face. This flame has some of the breath of the great sun true flame. This titanium crystal puppet seems to be gifted. As Liu Menging's mortal enemy, Chu Shuai was slightly stunned when he saw this scene, and thought to himself, it turned out to be a rare mutant among the titanium crystal puppets. Liu Menging is really generous, even such a puppet is willing to sell it. Chen Wei was doing two things at the same time. On the one hand, he used the red cloud flame formation diagram to command Yutong to spit out the source fire of his life to fully warm the alchemy cauldron, and on the other hand, he kept recalling the detailed refining method of the Zixing pill in his mind. After a quarter of an hour, when the flame in the cauldron reached the optimal temperature, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with a few bright golden brilliance, and the delusion-breaking spirit eyes opened directly. The world seemed to suddenly become clear. In the eyes of Chen Wei's delusion-breaking spirit eyes, everything seemed so clear and thorough. Chen Wei controlled his mental power to put the black bamboo lotus into the alchemy cauldron for refining. Before, it would take him 10 minutes to refine a level 3 spiritual plant like this into a spiritual medicine essence, but with the help of the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, this time he only took 5 minutes to complete the refining work. This spiritual plant refining speed, which was enough to surprise ordinary alchemists, was the result of Chen Wei deliberately slowing down, otherwise he could have shortened the time to 2 minutes. The red cloud flame array diagram is indeed the exclusive fire control secret method of the Master's sect. With Chen Wei and Yutong's mind in harmony, the spiritual plants quickly turned into colorful spiritual medicine essences in the red gold flames. As time passed quickly, a faint medicinal fragrance that was refreshing to the heart continued to emanate from the alchemy cauldron. Seeing this, Chen Wei's face condensed, and he carefully used the red cloud flame array diagram to control this source fire, condensing and reshaping these spiritual medicine essences in order. This is the most critical step in the success of refining the star-washing pill. The alchemist needs to open his mental perception to the limit, otherwise any problem with the fusion reaction of the spiritual medicine essence will make this alchemy fail. But under the gaze of the delusion-breaking spiritual eyes, the subtle reaction between the essences of the medicines was completely controlled by Chen Wei, and the pill condensing process smoothly entered the next stage. Not bad. It has only been half a year and you have mastered the red cloud flame formation diagram to a proficient level. It seems that you are studying hard. Looking at Chen Wei's pill-making process, Tan Zuking showed a satisfied smile on her face. Although some low-level mistakes that novices often make in the process of refining pills, the little junior brother can use a unique refining method to make up for the mistakes made. Such a talent for refining medicine is really amazing. Under the attention of the two senior sisters, an almost imperceptible blue light flashed in the white jade pill cauldron, and 3 round and full cleansing star pills flew out of the medicine cauldron. Sure enough, it succeeded. A trace of relief flashed in Tan Zuking's eyes, and she was sincerely excited that such a genius appeared in the way of alchemy. What a great little junior brother. Chu Shuai's face was solemn. She was proud and didn't want to be compared with a disciple introduced by Liu Menging. On the other side, Chen Wei subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief after putting the newly refined star cleansing pill into the white jade bottle. The effect of this delusion-breaking spirit eye was even stronger than he had imagined. If he did not have a 4th level or higher pill recipe, relying on the power of the spirit eye, he might have been able to try to refine a 4th level pill now. Senior Sister 10, this is the star cleansing pill I refined. Please taste it. Chen Wei handed the jade bottle in his hand to Tan Zuking. Smelling the rich pill fragrance, Tan Zuking smiled and said, the pill is of good quality. With your level of refining medicine, you can already sprint to the 4 glory alchemist. Even among the 4 glory alchemists, there are only a few who can refine the star cleansing pill to this quality. What? Hearing this, Chu Shuai couldn't help but exclaimed. She could barely accept a 19-year-old 3 glory alchemist. After all, she became a 3 glory alchemist at the age of 20, but she was a little unbelievable at the age of 19. The next second, as if realizing her own gaffe, Chu Shuai quickly apologized to Senior Sister 10 and Chen Wei. Tan Zuking did not say much, but handed the pill in her hand to Chen Wei, and said gently, with your current level, you are qualified to inherit the teacher's secret method of medicine and fire, purifying true flame, purifying true flame. This sudden surprise directly hit Chen Wei's head and made him a little dizzy. This pure world flame is a legendary medicinal flame refined by teacher using the natal fire of a 9th rank demigod, pure world true phoenix. It possesses terrifying power that can destroy the heavens and the earth, and is also the highest level inherited medicinal flame in our sect. However, the power of the pure world flame is too terrifying. No other fire type pet can control it except teacher's pet. For this reason, teacher specially created a medicinal flame secret method, pure world true flame method. To practice this secret method, one needs to use the pure world fire as the foundation, and then use the huge elixir energy when the elixir is formed to continuously breathe the natal fire spirit, and finally condense the natal medicinal flame belonging to oneself and the pet, depending on the pet, the alchemist, and the elixir energy. The medicinal flames born from each person's practice of the pure world true flame method are also different. Some alchemists' pets breed medicinal flames that are powerful enough to rival teacher's pure world true flame, but there are also alchemists' pets breed medicinal flames that are mediocre, only slightly stronger than the natal fire of their own pets. Having said this, Senior Sister Tan paused. Low-level alchemists are fine, but if you want to become a real alchemist, you'd better redeem this pure flame before you advance to the king level. Chu Shuai nodded in agreement. In Donghua, alchemists can have such a high status, not only because alchemists can give birth to strong people, but also because the power of the medicine flame bred by the alchemist's mental power and the pet's life source fire is terrifying. Having a sword and not having a sword are two different things. If the alchemist's own strength is not strong enough, he would have been packed up by the Beastmaster and taken back to the family to make pills. P.S. Thank you for your 100 starting coins. Thank you for your support. Thank you readers for voting and subscribing. Chapter 258 100,000 points. 9th rank demigod. Dan Qi. Hearing this, Chen Wei looked at Senior Sister Tan with a look of surprise. Not to mention the 9th rank demigod's life source fire that stood at the top, just a pure world true flame method, a medicine flame secret method that required Dan Qi to practice successfully, made him excited. Senior Sister Tan, what is the exchange price of the pure world true flame method? Chen Wei couldn't help but ask. Such a great medicine flame secret method must be worth a lot of money. Now he just wanted to know how long he needed to save points to successfully exchange it. Only 100,000 points, Tan Zuking said with a smile. Considering the level of the pure world true flame method and the pure world fire seed, 100,000 points is already a very low exchange price, and it can even be said to be a loss-making business. You must know that the law cannot be passed on lightly. With the power and terror of the pure world true flame method, it can be sold for 1,000,000 points, which is equivalent to the price of several 8th level legendary resources, but in this case, there are probably very few disciples in the sect who can afford to exchange this secret method. For the teacher, it is more important to let the disciples breathe their own powerful medicine flame through the pure world true flame method and walk their own path as a pharmacist than to get more points. This is also the reason why the teacher set the price of the pure world true flame method at 100,000. Hearing this, Chen Wei opened his eyes wide, his eyes full of surprise. 100,000 points is not a lot, but it is definitely not a small amount. After all, the points of the master cannot be exchanged for star coins. But as long as he is willing to sell the 7th level beast resources in the star ring, he can earn 100,000 points today. Do you want it? If you want it, you must hurry up to improve your medicine refining skills. Otherwise, if the speed of accumulating points is too slow, it will be too late for you and your pet to advance to the 6th level king, Tanzuking reminded again. It was not easy to meet a genius who could compete with her in the way of alchemy. She really didn't want Chen Wei to spend too much time on fighting and practicing, so as not to waste his talent. Do you have to practice the pure world true flame method before advancing to the king? Chen Wei glanced at senior sister Chu curiously. The first 2 times of igniting the sparks were fine, but the 3rd time the alchemist ignites the sparks when he advances to the 6th level king is crucial. It is a transformation and sublimation. At that time, the pure world flame will also undergo a leap forward transformation as the alchemist ignites the sparks for the 3rd time, thus having a good lower limit. Your mutated identification eyes can absorb the unpredictable Dan Qi. This growth method is completely consistent with the pure world flame. Maybe in the future, you can cultivate the pure world flame to the extreme, Tanzuking said bluntly. Hearing this, Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank. He forced himself to hold back the shock in his heart and looked up at senior sister Tan. There was a bit of disbelief in his dark eyes. Senior sister, can you see Dan Qi? His voice was a little surprised. Alchemists above the Grandmaster level can see Dan Qi, but they cannot use it directly. They can only use it to nourish the power of the medicine flame. This is the first time I have seen such a terrifying talent that can directly use Dan Qi like you. Seeing Chen Wei's surprised expression, Tanzuking couldn't help but smile and said, for safety reasons, you'd better not absorb Dan Qi in front of other Grandmaster level alchemists in the future. Junior sister Chu, I'll trouble you to keep this a secret. Senior sister Tan turned her head and glanced at Chu Shui. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone. Chu Shui, who was full of surprise, nodded confidently. Thank you, senior sisters, for keeping it a secret. Chen Wei bowed slightly. It's good to have someone to help you with your imagination. After seeing that the senior sister attributed the change in her eyes that could absorb Dan Qi to her innate talent, Chen Wei, who was about to explain it, couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. That's right. How could a new beast master who could crush many evil geniuses just awaken an ordinary identification talent? In this way, the abnormal identification talent can just cover up some unusual signs on himself, so as to better cover up his second innate talent, dragon control power. Next, senior sister Tan entered the teaching mode. She first pointed out the mistakes Chen Wei made during the alchemy process, and then reproduced the refining process of the star washing pill. Because it was a low-level pill like the star cleansing pill, senior sister Tan didn't even summon her pet, Yaoyan, or the pill cauldron, and she was able to refine 3 pills of perfect quality. As expected of a master-level alchemist, she can easily refine a perfect star cleansing pill. Chen Wei, who had been using the delusion-breaking spirit eye to observe senior sister Tan's pill-making process, couldn't help but admire in his heart. Have you learned it? Tanzuking asked with a smile after putting away the star cleansing pill. I have learned it. Thinking that he had perfectly memorized the refining method through the delusion-breaking spirit eye, Chen Wei nodded confidently. Then you refine it again, Tanzuking said. Sitting in front of the white jade pill cauldron again, relying on the magic of the delusion-breaking spirit eye, Chen Wei's mind began to emerge with the scenes of senior sister Tan refining the pill. The next second, Chen Wei directly activated the red cloud flame formation diagram and Yutuan began to refine the pill. Not bad. Looking at the fire control method and processing tricks that were completely synchronized with her before, Tanzuking showed a satisfied smile on her face. You've learned it already. Looking at this scene, Chu Shui's expression became very wonderful. What kind of alchemy genius is this? Just by witnessing senior sister Tan refining the star cleansing pill once, she was able to correct all the mistakes she made in the alchemy process before, and even gave people a sense of natural fluency in the refining process. Soon, 2 dazzling blue lights emerged from the cauldron, and 2 flawless and rich medicinal fragrant star cleansing pills were quickly put away by Chen Wei. Not bad, the quality of the pill this time has reached excellent, senior sister Tan nodded calmly. Unlike the mediocre students who usually need to analyze step by step to understand, this is the level that a genius should have. It's bad, if this continues, I will be caught up by my junior brother. Chu Shui's expression froze. Although she has now entered the Master Alchemist level, she cannot guarantee that she can refine a perfect star cleansing pill every time. With your level, you can already refine 4th level pills. This is the recipe for the 4th level intermediate grade pill, Jian pill. Do you want to try to refine it? At this point, Tanzuking's star ring flickered, and a dark inheritance source stone suddenly appeared in her hand. "Sister, isn't this too expensive?" Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing his throat and said solemnly. Although Jian Pill is only a 4th level intermediate grade, as one of the 3-piece elite set, its actual value is even more expensive than some 5th level pill recipes. Unlike the Zixing pill recipe that Sister Muning gave him before, he dared not accept such a precious 4th level pill recipe casually. Chapter 259, Purple Star Fire. The next thing I'm going to teach you is how to make Jian pills. If you don't know the recipe, I can't teach you, Tanzuking smiled. After the exchange, the recipes in the sect are forbidden to be taught to outsiders, and those who violate the rules will be severely punished, but there are no restrictions within the sect, and disciples are allowed to teach each other. Let me see your limit, Tanzuking looked at Chen Wei and said in her heart, with a bright smile on her face. Since the junior brother can refine an excellent level of Zixing pill, it is possible to refine a 4th level medium quality Jian pill. Okay, senior sister. Looking at the creepy smile of the senior sister, Chen Wei took the inheritance source stone with both hands, then closed his eyes and began to browse the knowledge in it with his mental power. The spiritual plans, fire temperature, fusion techniques, precautions required to refine Jian pills. After sorting out the knowledge that came to his mind, Chen Wei reluctantly returned the inheritance source stone in his hand to senior sister Tan. "Do you understand?" senior sister Tan asked. "I understand," Chen Wei nodded slightly. "Then I'll demonstrate it to you once," senior sister Tan said concisely. Her star ring was shining, and a bunch of vibrant spiritual plants suddenly appeared in the air. Senior sister Chu beside her immediately showed an expectant expression. "This is the purple star fire that I cultivated with a pure world true flame method and the star tyrant beast's life source fire." At this time, senior sister Tan raised her extremely tender white palm, and a ball of deep blue flame continued to rise in her palm. Just looking at this extremely terrifying flame from a distance, Chen Wei suddenly felt that his whole body was much more relaxed, and even his originally tired spirit began to glow. Seeing this, he subconsciously activated the delusion-breaking spirit eye, purple star fire. The star tyrant beast uses its life source fire as a guide to fuse the 7 starlight powers of Xianchu, Xiangxuan, Xianji, Xianquan, Yuhang, Kiang, and Yao Guang into its life source fire, and then reshapes and sublimates the epic medicine flame through the pure world true flame method, which has the most yang and strong, immortal and indestructible vitality. The extremely yang flame of vitality. Is this the medicine flame that belongs only to senior sister Tan? Chen Wei's eyes were full of envy. The next moment, seeing that senior sister Tan had already started to refine the elixir, he took a deep breath and began to observe with a serious expression. In this way, time passed quickly, and under the gaze of Chen Wei's delusion-breaking spiritual eyes, a round emerald green pill rose from senior sister Tan's soft hands like a bright tiny star. This is the perfect level of Jian pill. Looking at the flawless pill in senior sister Tan's hand, Chen Wei's mouth slowly raised a touch of joy that was difficult to conceal. Yes, that's right. With the help of the delusion-breaking spiritual eyes, he has completely seen through the refining method of Jian pill, and even feels that he can now refine a 4th level middle grade Jian pill. Looking at the smile on Chen Wei's face, Tanzuking was slightly stunned, and then an inexplicable excitement surged from her heart. Sure enough, the 4th level middle grade pill is not the limit of my junior brother, do you understand? Senior sister Tan said. We can give it a try, Chen Wei nodded confidently. Senior sister Tan, then let's get started. After feeding Yutong a few pills to restore her energy, Chen Wei began to concentrate on preparing. No way, this again, Chu Shuai couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Could it be that he was lucky enough to witness a scene that could be recorded in the history of Donghu today, an unprecedented 19-year-old four-glory alchemist? This shocking thought flashed through his mind, and Chu Shuai looked at Chen Wei with a hint of heat. At this moment, Chen Wei began to refine the Jian pill. Time passed quickly. In just half an hour, he refined the thousands of spiritual plants in the white jade tripod into spiritual medicine essences one by one, and successfully completed the first stage of preparation. But in the second stage of the essence fusion reaction, Chen Wei began to make some mistakes. At this time, a drop of cold sweat was slowly dripping from his face, and the red gold flames that Yutong spewed out of his mouth gradually faded. Fortunately, there was no danger. Looking at the Jian pills covered with particles on the surface of the tripod, Chen Wei couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Although the Pahum Ling Mao had perfectly copied the specific method of refining the Jian pill by senior sister Tan, his control of the Chixian array diagram was still too low, so that he had learned it in his mind, but the operation was a bit behind. If it weren't for the recent breakthrough of the 4th level of Yuanxing and the significant enhancement of his mental power, I am afraid that he would have failed to refine it by now. It's almost successful. Chen Wei stared at the pill in the cauldron, and the majestic mental power continued to flow into Yutong's body, and the red gold flame in the cauldron suddenly surged. In the surprised eyes of Tanzuking and Chu Shui, a strong pill fragrance suddenly filled the alchemy room. It really worked. Chu Shui sniffed lightly with his nose, and for a moment he didn't know what to say. Buzz! With a muffled sound, a striking green light continued to emerge from the cauldron, and a pill with a rough surface and a faint mist wrapped around it fell into the white jade bottle in Chen Wei's hand. Thank you for your hard work, Yutong. Seeing Yutong lying on the ground, looking like she was about to fall asleep, Chen Wei quickly took out a few pills from the star ring and fed them to her. Meow. Oh, it's okay. Yutong looked at the jade bottle in Chen Wei's hand, with a proud expression on her face. Not bad, a Jian pill of ordinary quality. Tanzuking only needed to smell the medicinal fragrance when the pill was made to roughly guess the quality of the pill. Thanks to the guidance of senior sister, Chen Wei smiled excitedly. If it weren't for the complete recording of the entire process of senior sister's alchemy with a spirit eye that could break delusion, he would never be able to make Jian pill with his current level. Chu Shui stared at Chen Wei's smile in a daze, and there was a bit of envy and jealousy in his eyes. Muning really helped the teacher find an incredible disciple. Okay, today's teaching ends here. You go back and have a good rest first, Tanzuking said. The next teaching will be the day after tomorrow morning. The time is still 9 o'clock. Okay, thank you, senior sister. Chen Wei, who benefited a lot, hugged Yutong in his arms, then turned and left the alchemy room. Looking at the background where Chen Wei disappeared, Chu Shui said with a bitter face, Senior sister, am I really a genius in alchemy? Looking at the junior sister who was hit hard in front of her, Tanzuking comforted her, don't compare with a monster like my junior brother, it's meaningless. Hearing this, Chu Shui sighed, and a sense of powerlessness suddenly rose in his heart. At the edge of the mountaintop, taking out the pass token to enter and exit the Black Smoky Mountain, Chen Wei was about to inject source power to drive away, when a shadow covering the sky and the sun suddenly enveloped him completely. Wait, hearing this familiar voice, Chen Wei looked up and saw a terrifying dragon figure falling to the ground like a meteorite. Senior brother Grau, Chen Wei said in surprise. P.S. Thank you for the 2049 starting coins rewarded by Shen Wei Yeguang. Thank you for your support. Thank you all readers for voting and subscribing. Chapter 265 Color Dragon God. Looking at the majestic dragon that descended from the sky in front of him, Chen Wei couldn't help but blink his eyes curiously. Brother, what's the matter? Grau Dragon shook his huge head, and a magic core that was like a diamond emitting dazzling light and seemed to have mercury flowing on its surface suddenly appeared on its dragon claws. Light Flame Unicorn Magic Core. Looking at the crystalline glow in his brother's claws, Chen Wei's pupils shrank. Could it be that my dragon affinity worked in the end? Under Chen Wei's surprised eyes, Grau Dragon threw the magic core in his claws in front of him. At this moment, countless thoughts flashed through Chen Wei's mind, but he still gritted his teeth and held the unicorn magic core emitting warm light in his palm. Brother, your things fell. Seeing Grau Dragon standing there without saying a word, Chen Wei handed the magic core back. This is a treasure for you, little brother. At this point, Grau Dragon's ferocious face showed a bit of pain. Although it didn't spend any star coins on this magic core, and it was obtained by killing a blind flaming unicorn, even so, it couldn't help but feel sorry for its treasure house. Seeing the expression on the dragon's face that was difficult to hide, Chen Wei was slightly stunned. This is too valuable. Brother, you should take it back. Chen Wei was going to refuse. For some reason, he just had a bad premonition in his heart when he was holding the unicorn magic core. You know, the dragon's treasure is not so easy to get. This is the reward paid to you in advance. Just do me a small favor in the future. After a moment of silence, Brother Grau spread out the giant wings of death behind him, and instantly set off a large gust of wind. Looking at the Grau monster dragon running away in front of him, and then looking at the magic core in his hand, Chen Wei was slightly stunned. Is this a forced sale? Chen Wei never thought that his extremely powerful brother would choose to run away. Little junior brother, you haven't left yet? Do you want to go back together? At this time, Chu Shui, who had calmed down, walked out of the alchemy room. Looking at the magic core in Chen Wei's hand, senior sister Chu smiled and said, "It seems that you are in trouble." In the speeding suspended car, Chen Wei told senior sister what had just happened one by one. The specific situation is like this. Seeing Chen Wei's strange expression, Chu Shui smiled and said, "Why, are you worried that the help from senior brother 3 will be too difficult for you?" "No, I think it's too sudden, not to mention that it's difficult for me to help senior brother with my current strength." Chen Wei glanced at the magic core in his hand. "You know, a 50,000-point light flame unicorn magic core can be exchanged for half of the pure world true flame method. Don't worry, it's not just you. Every new disciple of the teacher will get a gift from senior brother Grau." Chu Shui smiled. Senior brother 3 is not an ordinary 5-color dragon. Even I, who offended senior brother at the beginning, still got a gift. Chu Shui, and you just need to listen to the reward. It will be difficult to help brother 3 before you become a Grandmaster Alchemist. Grandmaster. Upon hearing this, Chen Wei immediately looked at sister Chu curiously. Only a Grandmaster level alchemist can help a little. What exactly does brother Grau want to do? Facing the curious eyes of the younger brother, Chu Shui explained, "Do you know the 5-color dragon god, the Tiamat recorded in the history of the Saint European Alliance?" Chen Wei said. "Yes, it is the creator of the legendary 5-color dragon clan, the evil dragon Tiamat." Chu Shui nodded slightly. "What does this have to do with brother 3? Chen Wei asked subconsciously. "Brother Grau wants to become a god, to become the 5-color dragon god that has disappeared in history." At this point, Chu Shui paused, and a trace of disbelief flashed in her eyes. Obviously, until now, she thought this was an extremely crazy idea. Only a fool like Grau would have such an outrageous dream. This, Chen Wei's pupils shrank, and he didn't know what to say for a moment. As the creator of the 5-color dragon, the 5-color dragon god has thick colorful forelegs, and a monster-like dragon body with 5 necks and heads of different colors. It is a terrifying existence that once conquered the Saint Europe continent for 1,000 years. Because Tiamat's appearance is somewhat similar to the 5 elements Emperor Dragon, some scholars in Donghu believe that the 5-color dragon god in the historical records of the Saint Europe continent is very likely a special variant of the 5 elements Emperor Dragon, but its strength has reached the level of immortal demigod. In general, the 5-color dragon god has the absolute strength to sweep across the Saint Europe continent, and even the legendary Beastmaster cannot resist it. However, compared to the unattainable goal of becoming the 5-color dragon god, he still thinks it is more reliable for senior brother Grau to become a legendary dragon first. Chu Shui glanced at Chen Wei, who was surprised, and then smiled and said, "Do you think this idea is a bit unrealistic? You know, there is not even an immortal demigod in our Donghu country now." Hearing this, Chen Wei fell silent. Perhaps he would have thought, like senior sister Chu, that there was no such noble and powerful existence in Donghu, but the divine egg in his mind reminded him all the time that there were not only gods in Donghu, but more than one. I just don't know whether the divine egg in his mind is an immortal demigod level existence or a supreme existence above immortality. In any case, don't worry. No matter whether senior brother Grau can succeed in the end, you will not be in any danger. Chu Shui hid the envy in his eyes and glanced at the magic core put away by Chen Wei without leaving a trace. Is it that the younger the generation, the more popular it is? Compared with the light flame unicorn magic core of the junior brother, the treasure he got at the beginning is really not worth mentioning. Soon, the floating car slowly fell down. Chu Shui looked at the red sandalwood sacred tree outside the car window and said softly, "We have arrived at Red Sandalwood University." Then senior sister, "I'll leave first." Chen Wei, who was a little confused, opened the car door and left. Before he put on the mask and walked to the hotel room, Chen Wei bumped into Yu Zilman, who was about to go out for dinner next door. "Have you eaten yet? Do you want to join us?" she suggested. "Let's go. I'll treat you," Chen Wei said with a smile. Now that he could refine Jian pills, he no longer had to worry about the problem of beast control resources. This was a happy event worth celebrating. Seeing that Yu Zilman readily agreed, Chen Wei directly booked a restaurant with good food. Sitting in the private room, he took out a jade bottle containing kixing pills from his star ring and handed it to Yu Zilman. What is this? Yu Zilman showed confusion on her face. I happen to have one of the perfect kixing pills you mentioned before, Chen Wei said. Hearing this, Yu Zilman's heart was shocked, and a wonderful feeling suddenly surged from the bottom of her heart. Is this really for me? The pill she had dreamed of was right in front of her, and she asked again in disbelief. Chapter 261 Preparing to Evolve. Of course, it's yours now, Chen Wei said as a matter of course. Hearing this, Yu Zilman looked at Chen Wei hesitantly, and reminded him with some worry, don't you need this kixing pill? After entering Zidin University, I can actually exchange it by accumulating credits by myself. A person can only take 2 kixing pills at most, and I can't take it anymore. Chen Wei shook his head. Yu Zilman nodded slightly. Then let's deal with it at the price we agreed on before. Do you want to transfer these 45 million star coins to your account or black card? Chen Wei looked at Yu Zilman in surprise. What's wrong? Is there something on my face? She touched her delicate face. Did you forget one thing? I still owe you 260 million star coins, and now you want to transfer money to me, Chen Wei teased. Yu Zilman looked at Chen Wei seriously. I'm not in a hurry, I can pay you back slowly, just like the source gold buried in the sand. As time passed, Chen Wei's previously covered brilliance in Shushan City became more and more brilliant, and the gap between her and Chen Wei became larger and larger. This huge debt of star coins is now the only connection between her and Chen Wei, and she doesn't want this connection to disappear so quickly. It's not difficult to borrow again if you have borrowed and repaid. If I don't pay back this money, I won't have the face to borrow money from you again, Chen Wei said somewhat embarrassedly. Seeing this, Yu Zilman frowned slightly, so she put away the star pill neatly. Thank you, I don't have many friends, only you. If you need money in the future, you can tell me. Because she was born with a golden key, Yu Zilman has been accustomed to using star coins to solve problems since she was a child, even if she wants to get closer to Chen Wei now. Sensing the sincerity in Yu Zilman's tone, Chen Wei smiled and nodded. After finishing the business, Chen Wei and Yu Zilman began to chat while eating. It must be said that the chef of this restaurant is very good. Chen Wei could feel his whole body warm after just taking a bite of the food, and a warm current slowly wandered around his body. After the meal, the two walked to the hotel together, and Chen Wei returned to his room. Sitting on the bed, he took out a round and flawless kixing pill from the star ring. Without thinking too much, Chen Wei swallowed a kixing pill directly into his stomach, closed his eyes and began to meditate and practice. Perhaps because his source star cultivation had reached the early stage of the 4th level, the effect of using the kixing pill this time was much worse than the last time. Under the burning and purification of the white star fire, the source star cultivation that had just entered the early stage of the 4th level was beginning to stabilize at a speed visible to the naked eye. Chen Wei only felt a cool and comfortable pure medicinal power being integrated into his source star at a rapid speed. However, this medicinal power came and went quickly. Before Chen Wei could immerse himself in it to practice, the medicinal power of the kixing pill had been completely absorbed and refined by the glittering star fire. Chen Wei slowly opened his eyes, and a bright white light flashed in his dark pupils. Unfortunately, the cultivation speed increased by the star concentrating pill this time is only 10%, he couldn't help but sigh. Chirp, strengthen, at this time. Seeing that the Beastmaster had completed his training, Ba Luo diligently handed a cup of special spiritual liquid to Chen Wei's mouth, apparently wanting to feed him personally. Looking at the 3 pets in front of him crying for food, Chen Wei said solemnly, "1 cup is not enough. Give me another cup." Hearing this, Ba Luo's eyes lit up, and 3 cups of special spiritual liquid suddenly appeared in his hands. Chirp, oh, okay, 3 cups are here. I don't know if I can meet the strengthening needs of the 3 pets after my advancement. Swallowing his saliva, Chen Wei directly drank 2 cups of special spiritual liquid, and then a colorful energy light suddenly emerged from his palm. The 1-on-3 strengthening battle officially began. Yi Kailing showed a satisfied expression on her face. Under the surging dragon controlling power, she could sense that her 3rd level upper strength was steadily increasing at a speed visible to the naked eye, and this speed of enhancement was even comparable to the speed of her growth by absorbing the cold dragon's green blood. Shiji, Bai Luo narrowed her eyes in satisfaction. Unlike the past when there was no improvement except for comfort, although the increase brought by the dragon power enhancement this time was negligible, it still found that its strength had increased a little. As for the one who had the greatest improvement at present, of course, Yutong, Who had the lowest strength? Chen Wei was pleasantly surprised to find that with the crazy irrigation of the dragon-controlling power, Yutong's aura was increasing rapidly, as if breaking through the barrier of the breakthrough level, and a bright light of advancement suddenly burst out and enveloped Yutong. Yutong's body trembled slightly, and a violent and extremely fierce life source fire gushed out of its body. Because of the synchronization with the red cloud flame formation diagram, Chen Wei's palm ignored the flames and remained tightly attached to Yutong's body, fearing that it would fail to advance because of this. Realizing this, although they were reluctant, Keiling and Bailuo chose to break free from Chen Wei's arms, lest their younger sister fail in the final advancement. Looking at the two pets who took care of their younger sister, Chen Wei smiled with relief. Feeling the sufficient physical strength in his body, the extremely majestic power of the dragon instantly gathered on Yutong. For a moment, the colorful light of the dragon power and the white light of advancement competed with each other in a spacious room. Soon, Yutong's strength broke through from the upper level of the second level to the lower level of the third level, and its rising breath gradually became stable. The dazzling advancement began to dissipate, and Yutong's growing form was suddenly displayed in front of Chen Wei. As a titanium crystal puppet mutant, Yutong's appearance did not change much this time. In addition to the growth of its body to 70 centimeters, its left eye, which was like a black gem, and its right pupil, which was like a blue gem, actually showed a majestic flame symbol at the same time. However, the next second, the flame symbol on Yutong's pupil disappeared quietly. Seeing this, Chen Wei couldn't help but flash a trace of doubt in his eyes. To this end, he directly opened the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, bathed in fire and devouring flames, a 5th-level growth-type fire skill. Bathed in fire, nothing can invade. You can walk in the flames at will, perfectly improve your own fire resistance, and even devour the flames to enhance the power of your own source fire and break through the race restrictions to advance. Could it be that without evolution, Yutong can also rely on the growth-type skill of bath in fire and devouring flames to increase her own blood concentration, so as to advance to become a 4th-level elite or even a 5th-level commander? Looking at this skill that has produced a qualitative change, Chen Wei shook his head and threw this inexplicable idea behind him. Then he took out the Light Flame Unicorn Magic Core and the Flame-Broken Rainbow Dragon Magic Core from the Star Ring and gave them to Yutong, who had just completed the advancement. You should first adapt to the fire source power in these two 6th-level magic cores to improve the fit. When I prepare the Advanced Dragon Crystal, you can start evolving. P.S. Thank you for the 500 starting coins rewarded by the Whale Coffin Priest, and thank you for the 100 starting coins rewarded by the Buck Friend 20200306220649381. Thank you readers for voting and subscribing. Chapter 262, Taming Beasts and Refining Medicine. The Alchemy Room of Zidian University is located on an island with extremely active fire veins. This island is a medicine refining area based on the magma river deep underground, and is built by combining source power and high technology. Various rare fire attribute spiritual plants are also planted on the island. As an area with a very powerful fire source in Zidian University, there are usually some fire attribute pets who like to practice in the magma river near the island. At this time, a light blue streamer flashed in the huge alchemy furnace, and then an extremely slight muffled sound came out. Failed again. Chen Wei showed some helplessness on his face, and then opened the alchemy furnace and collected all the waste residue of the star source pill inside. Do you know what mistakes were made this time? Tan Zuking frowned slightly. The temperature was not controlled properly, the heating fusion reaction between the purple star fruit and the silver star fruit was slow by 0.08 seconds, and the refining time of the 1000-star bamboo was too long, and it was not mixed in time. Chen Wei said all the mistakes in the alchemy process this time. Yes, in fact, your understanding of Xingyin pill is sufficient, but your mastery of Chiksha flame array is not enough, Tan Zuking pointed out. Chen Wei nodded thoughtfully. The higher the grade of the pill, the more complicated it is to refine. Even with the help of the delusion-breaking spirit eye, because his Chiksha flame array currently only outlines 23 flame arrays, the microcontrol of fire control ability cannot keep up with the changes in the reaction of the spirit medicine essence in the pill furnace, which will lead to the failure of pill refining. Haste makes waste. Maybe I should focus on refining Jian pill first, and maybe I can improve the cultivation of Chiksha flame array faster, Chen Wei thought to himself. Today's class ends here. Do you want to have a meal together in the cafeteria? Tan Zuking glanced at her watch and said casually. Okay, Chen Wei readily agreed. After leaving the alchemy room, he and Sister Tan walked to the nearest South District cafeteria. Hello, Professor Tan. Watching the students and teachers who saluted respectfully one after another on the road, including many king-level masters, Chen Wei immediately had a clear understanding of the prestige of his senior sister in the alchemy department. Who is he? Such a strange face, and he can actually walk with Professor Tan. Brother, have you been disconnected from the internet recently? You don't even know the first place in this year's qualifying competition, the demon genius, the freshman Chen Wei. No, doesn't this freshman class have another month to go before school starts? A sophomore student with an envious face asked in surprise. 2 days ago, you must have heard that Professor Tan personally helped 2 freshmen to handle the registration procedures, an ordinary-looking boy said. No way, Professor Tan did such a small thing herself. Could it be that she is planning to accept Chen Wei as her disciple? Who knows? Chen Wei is a top SSS-level genius. Which teacher doesn't want to accept a disciple with unlimited potential? But she is Professor Tan after all. There are only a few master-level alchemists in Rosewood University. Tisk, which beastmaster who can be admitted to Rosewood University is not a genius? There are so many beastmasters on the Zui list who are stronger than Chen Wei. Then may I ask what your ranking is on the Zui list? This. Under the envious gaze of everyone, Chen Wei and his companion found a quiet private room on the 3rd floor of the cafeteria and sat down. After Sister Tan skillfully ordered a few dishes, she handed the menu to Chen Wei. Scallion flavored roast duck. 1 credit, 10,000 star coins, steamed dragonfish. 5 credits, 50,000 star coins, ice heart snake soup. 20 credits, 200,000 star coins, flying dragon steamed soup. 50 credits, 500,000 star coins, red sandalwood dragon liver. 1,000 credits, only accepts credits to exchange. Looking at the expensive dishes on the menu, which were priced in points and star coins, Chen Wei's pupils shrank slightly. Unlike the cheap and good dishes on the 1st floor of the cafeteria, the food on the 3rd floor is really expensive, especially this red sandalwood dragon liver. The price of 1,000 credits alone is enough to exchange for a perfect star extracting pill in the school's beast resource library. Even if he won the title of the first freshman, the student card he got would only have 1,000 more credits than Yu Zilman. Is the title of the first freshman worth a red sandalwood dragon liver? Thinking of this, Chen Wei picked up a pen and silently ticked a back of the scallion-flavored roast duck. Okay, after taking a look at the menu, Senior Sister Tan said nothing, picked up the pen and ticked 5 dishes in a row. You should have practiced bodybuilding exercises, right? Eating more high-quality exotic beast meat will be of great benefit to your physical training. Chen Wei nodded and did not refuse. The canteen served dishes very quickly, and soon, the luxurious dishes filled the table. Let's eat first, Senior Sister Tan called. Looking at the elegant senior sister in front of him, Chen Wei first drank a sip of the flying dragon steamed soup. Delicious. Feeling a strong source of power gradually spreading from his taste buds, the extremely delicious taste made Chen Wei's eyes light up. If it's delicious, eat more. Looking at the little junior brother in front of him eating very deliciously, even Tanzuking, who was used to eating delicacies from mountains and seas, couldn't help but have a big appetite and couldn't help eating more. After enjoying lunch, Senior Sister Tan seemed to remember something and suddenly asked, Zitten University will not open until early September, and all freshmen will have to undergo a month-long military training. With your current physical fitness, it would be a waste of time to participate in military training. Do you want me to help you push it off? Isn't military training mandatory? Chen Wei asked curiously. Senior Sister Tan explained, the annual military training for freshmen at the 5 major universities in Donghua is to hone the physique, willpower and teamwork ability of new beastmasters, so freshmen are not allowed to escape military training. Of course, there are always exceptions. Unlike beastmasters, talented freshmen with intermediate alchemist badges can choose not to participate in military training. At this point, Tanzuking looked at Chen Wei. If you don't want to participate in military training, you'd better take time to go to the Alchemist Association to complete the level appraisal in the next month. Senior sister, is military training dangerous? Chen Wei asked in confusion. He could vaguely feel that Senior Sister Tan didn't seem to want him to participate in military training. Not dangerous? Senior Sister Tan shook her head and denied it. If there were alien beasts that could harm military training students under the heavy protection of the Legion, Then Donghu would have been destroyed by alien beasts long ago. Seeing this, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with doubt. Senior Sister Tan smiled. Junior brother, rather than becoming a powerful beastmaster, I hope you can focus on the path of alchemy. Of course, this is just a suggestion. You can do it according to your own ideas. Every year, the freshmen who rank first in the 5 major military trainings of Donghu will receive a king-level pet or a 6th-level source device as a reward from the Legion, but if you choose to give up military training and use the free month to follow me to learn alchemy, I will reward you with 2 bottles of 6th-level pills. Chapter 263 The Power of Destiny. Walking outside the luxurious accommodation area of Rosewood University, Chen Wei was a little tangled. Sister Tan's meaning was very clear. Even if you practice beast control and alchemy at the same time, you have to distinguish between the two. Otherwise, practicing without distinguishing between the primary and the secondary will only make you fall into confusion and mediocrity. Chen Wei knew very well that becoming an alchemist was just a means for him to obtain resources. His real goal has always been to become a beast control expert. How can I refuse Sister Tan? With this idea in mind, Chen Wei used his student card to swipe the door of the accommodation area and soon walked to the door of a single-family mansion. Perhaps because there are fewer students in Rosewood University, each student's luxurious residence is surrounded by green plants and flower beds, and there is even a clear stream flowing along the side that stretches to the main campus. Entering the password to enter the room, Chen Wei took out 3 intermediate dragon crystals from the star ring and began his daily dragon crystal strengthening homework. In addition to learning alchemy from Sister Tan, Chen Wei either meditated and practiced every day, or used the power of dragon control to strengthen his pet and dragon crystals. Occasionally, he also practiced alchemy to practice the red cloud flame formation diagram, which had not made much progress. Chen Wei continued this boring cultivation life for more than a month. With Chen Wei's unremitting efforts, he refined a total of 30 Jian pills during this period. As one of the 3 elite sets, Jian pills are expensive. A Jian pill of excellent quality can be sold at a high price of 20 million. Excluding the cost of medicinal materials and the expenses of failed alchemy, Chen Wei made a net profit of 240 million star coins this month. This crazy money-making ability is almost catching up with that of a high-level alchemist. But compared to the star coin income, what surprised Chen Wei more was that Kei Ling's strength had reached the pinnacle of the 3rd level upper position. If she took the dragon blood fruit, maybe Kei Ling could directly ignite the blood fire and directly advance to the 4th level elite. However, Kei Ling rejected Chen Wei's suggestion, saying that she could break the limit by herself without consuming the precious dragon blood fruit. She wanted to save the dragon blood fruit for the impact of the 6th level. After learning about Kei Ling's idea, Chen Wei put most of his energy into strengthening the high-level dragon crystal, wanting to help Yutong's evolution and Kei Ling's advancement. As a result, he produced 4 high-level dragon crystals within this month. At this time, Chen Wei held 3 dark red crystals in his hands, and then poured all the majestic dragon controlling power in his body into them. Since Yuanxing was promoted to the 4th level, his dragon controlling power not only gained the characteristic of dancing with dragons, but also doubled the speed of purifying high-level dragon crystals. If it weren't for the fact that Yutong's evolution and Kei Ling's advancement required a large amount of high-level dragon crystals, Chen Wei would even want to try to strengthen the dragon crystals above the high-level dragon crystals. Time passed quickly during the strengthening of the dragon crystals. Unknowingly, the night fell quietly, and the dragon crystals in Chen Wei's hands began to burst out with dazzling red light. Sensing the qualitative change of the intermediate dragon crystals, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with a hint of surprise. 5 minutes later, the red light faded, and a pink light suddenly appeared. 3 high-level crystals with an alluring aura appeared in his hands. 9 high-level dragon crystals should be enough. After sorting out the materials for Yutong's evolution in his mind, Chen Wei showed an excited smile on his face. Yutong, are you ready? Chen Wei's eyes met the eyes of the pure white puppet lying on the sofa. Meow. Oh, ready. Red Sand University Secret Realm Control Room. Are you sure you want to use 1,000 points to go to Turtle Island Volcano? Looking at the genius beastmaster who has become famous in Red Sand City, the Secret Realm Administrator Qi Shandi asked seriously. Yes, please open the Secret Realm portal. When a pet evolves, it needs to absorb enough source power to complete the transformation. The fire-type Secret Realm of Turtle Island Volcano is the best place for evolution that Chen Wei has chosen for Yutong. For this reason, He also specially asked senior sister Tan. Seeing that Chen Wei had made up his mind, Qi Shandy had to tell him, 1,000 points can only stay in the Turtle Island volcano for 1 day. If you encounter danger, please quickly activate the Kongming Stone bracelet to leave the secret realm. Understood, Chen Wei replied simply. The next second, under the control of Teacher Qi, a fiery red space channel suddenly appeared on the ancient high platform. You can go in when you are ready, Qi Shandy said. Hearing this, Chen Wei glanced at the colorful spirit on his wrist and walked into the space channel impatiently. Looking at Chen Wei's figure that disappeared in the blink of an eye, Qi Shandy picked up his mobile phone and made a call. Professor Tan, Chen Wei has just entered the secret realm of the Turtle Island volcano. Got it, please ask Senior Turtle of Rongyang Island to take care of my junior brother. Understood. Even though he knew that Professor Tan couldn't see through the phone, Qi Shandy still nodded solemnly. On the other side, after hanging up the phone in his hand, Tan Zuking looked thoughtfully at the bright moon hanging high in the sky outside the window. Destiny is unpredictable and cannot be seen through. Is there really the legendary power of destiny in the Turtle Island volcano's secret realm? She murmured. Rosewood University controls many secret realms with different attributes, and the Turtle Island volcano is an inconspicuous fire-related secret realm in the eyes of students. However, only the top leaders of Rosewood University know that the Turtle Island volcano's secret realm actually hides the power of destiny that can make ordinary people transcend the ordinary. If it weren't for what Tan Shanyaosheng said before his death, no one would dare to believe that the founder of Rosewood University, Tan Shanyaosheng, was actually just an ordinary alchemist with mediocre talent. It is said that the reason why Tan Shanyaosheng was able to emerge in Donghua and even become the world's top legendary medicine saint in the end was because he merged a power of destiny in the Turtle Island volcano's secret realm. Unfortunately, thousands of years have passed, and except for Tan Shanyaosheng, no teacher or student at Rosewood University has been able to access the power of destiny in the Turtle Island volcano, including Tanzuking and Rongyang Island Turtle who has been stationed in the secret realm. I don't know if my decision is right or wrong, Tanzuking supported her fair chin with her soft hands and fell into deep thought. Putting aside the power of destiny, which exists in legends, with the strength of Chen Wei and the titanium crystal doll, the Turtle Island volcano's secret realm filled with rich fire source power is indeed a perfect place for evolution. What am I thinking about? So many students enter the Turtle Island volcano every year and never encounter it. How could my junior brother encounter the power of destiny? As if she had sensed her deepest expectations, Tanzuking couldn't help but smile a little absurdly. How could Chen Wei encounter the power of destiny that many geniuses at Rosewood University have not encountered for thousands of years? Even his ancestor Tan Shanyaosheng encountered the illusory power of destiny when he entered the Turtle Island volcano for the second time. What's more, Chen Wei's goal is just to complete the evolution of the titanium crystal doll. P.S. Thank you for the 100 starting coins rewarded by the Dragon of Divine Shadow. Thank you all readers for voting and subscribing. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264 Suyan Spinner Turtle. Turtle Island volcano is located in the deep sea area of the secret realm. It is a huge turtle-shaped island formed by the continuous eruption of the submarine volcano. The island is also filled with steaming white mist. The hazy white mist can't help but separate the Turtle Island volcano from the deep sea area of the secret realm, forming an extremely dangerous heat wave storm, and it has also become a paradise for fire-type beasts. The white mist is full of dangers. Even if the Beastmaster rides a flying pet, he can't pass through the white mist. Therefore, these white mists are also called edge mists by the students of Rosewood University. After passing through the space channel, after a while of fighting and moving, Chen Wei only felt a gust of hot wind coming towards him, and the air inhaled by his nose suddenly became extremely hot, and even the oxygen contained in the air was very thin. Opening his eyes and determining his location through the white mist, Chen Wei summoned 2 pets at the first time, and then took out a Huxi pill from the star ring and swallowed it. Huh? Fortunately, I prepared Huxi pill in advance, otherwise it would be a bit uncomfortable to breathe here. Chen Wei breathed a sigh of relief. With his ridiculously strong physique now, He would not feel dizzy and nauseous due to lack of oxygen even if he did not take Hooksy pill, but he still had to endure the pain. Evolving here, unlike some beastmasters who were not used to it, Yutong could not wait to ask after feeling the violent and rich fire source power around him. This is just the periphery of Turtle Island Volcano. Our goal is the lava cave deep underground in Turtle Island Volcano. Chen Wei shook his head. The interior of Turtle Island Volcano is divided into 3 areas, namely the edge area where the edge fog can be seen, the volcanic area where lava is constantly erupting, and the cave area where the fire source power is the most concentrated and is also at the deepest part of Turtle Island. The open-air lava lake in the edge area is inhabited by a fire beast called White Mist Wingfish. This beast has a fish-like body, but has bird-like wings. Its cry is a bit like a mandarin duck. Its strength is very good, reaching the lower level of the 4th rank. The meat of the white mist finfish is extremely delicious, and it has magical effects similar to medical beauty. Even an ordinary-looking woman can become as beautiful as a flower and the moon after taking a white mist finfish. This magical change in appearance is different from the incoordination of beauty hospitals using source power to force plastic surgery. It has a natural beauty. This also caused the white mist finfish to be almost eaten to extinction by some beastmasters who pursue beauty, so that the price of finfish has remained high. One finfish can even be exchanged for 1,000 credits in the school cafeteria. Because catching one will make a profit, and catching 2 will make a lot of money. In Zidane University, many students spend 1,000 credits every day to enter the secret realm of Turtle Island Volcano in order to catch white mist finfish, trying to make a fortune. However, there are very few students who become rich because of this. If it weren't for the fear that Yutong didn't have enough time to evolve, Chen Wei really wanted to find a few open-air lava lakes in this marginal area to try his luck and see if he could catch a few white mist finfish. Ling, let's go. The boiling hot crater in the volcanic area has a lava mountain road that leads directly to the underground area, Chen Wei urged. No problem. Looking at the looming towering volcano in the distance, Ling's miniature body expanded at a speed visible to the naked eye, and finally turned into a 30-meter-long majestic dragon. With the terrifying dragon power emitted by Ling, there should be no blind beasts that dare to provoke along the way. Looking at Ling with a little pride, Chen Wei hugged Yutong and jumped on her head. Hold on, I'm taking off. As soon as the voice fell, a violent sonic boom suddenly burst out, and Ling's huge body suddenly turned into blue light and rushed towards the distant volcano. In the boiling hot crater of the volcanic area, there lives a group of beasts of the leading race, named Zuai and Zuangui, which looks a bit like an ordinary turtle, but is extremely large, and can grow up to 10 meters. Because the sunburst turtle is extremely powerful and can even advance to become the king race, sunburst turtle, many students who are good at fire attributes in Zidane University want to contract it as a pet. This sunburst turtle with a dark red shell, a ferocious huge head similar to a winged bird, and a tail like a long snake has a lazy personality. It usually likes to eat magma and often hibernates in the boiling hot crater. It is okay if you don't provoke such a beast, but once you provoke it, it will be besieged by a lot of people, so it is quite difficult for students to contract the sunburst turtle. At this time, looking at the group of sunburst turtles that completely blocked the boiling hot crater, Chen Wei smiled bitterly. Sure enough, if you want to pass the lava mountain road, you must drive away this group of whirling turtles. Should I drive them away? Finding that her way forward was blocked by a group of strong beasts, Ling couldn't help but ask. No. Chen Wei shook his head and refused, then activated his identification talent, pet name, Sunrise Flame Turtle, pet attributes, fire, earth, racial level, transcendent commander, strength level, lower level 5, racial skills, shattering explosion, high temperature shell, earth core ashes, sandstorm earth fire. Looking at the 10 sunrise flame turtle resting in the distance, Chen Wei's face showed a bit of solemnity. If it was just one sunrise flame turtle blocking the way, he would still have some confidence to repel it, but with so many turtles in front of him, even a master-level beastmaster can only temporarily avoid the edge, let alone a small new beastmaster like him. Fortunately, I am well prepared. Thinking of this, Chen Wei took out a red cloud pail and 2 attracting herbs from the star ring. He first found a place with a suitable wind direction, then crushed the red cloud pail and smeared it on an attracting herb, and finally lit another attracting herb and placed it under the spiritual herb covered with elixir powder. In an instant, an alluring faint fragrance drifted along the hot wind of the volcano, and finally passed to the boiling hot crater. As if smelling something, the largest sun flame turtle suddenly opened its sharp eyes, slightly loosened its mouth, and showed a somewhat intoxicated expression on its face. At the same time, as the fragrance blowing over became stronger and stronger, the remaining sun flame turtle immersed in the dream began to gradually wake up, and then let out roars one after another. For a moment, the earth began to tremble, large pieces of sand and gravel flew, and 10 sun flame turtle rushed to the place where the fragrance came from, leaving only the messy ground full of potholes and gullies. Seeing this, Chen Wei, who was hiding and waiting, suddenly had his eyes lit up. Wait until they all leave and then rush in immediately. Oh, got it. Chapter 265 begins to evolve. Lava Mountain Road. In the dark and bottomless mountain road, Chen Wei held Yutong in one hand and grabbed Kai Ling's dragon horn in the other hand, and then continued to descend at a rapid speed. The darkness that covered everything in the mountain road seemed to make people forget the passage of time. After an unknown period of time, Chen Wei suddenly found a red light below, and he couldn't help but cheer up. Soon, as the red light became more and more intense, Kai Ling's speed gradually slowed down, and finally successfully left the mountain road and stayed steadily in the air. Looking at the scene in front of him, Chen Wei was slightly startled. It was as if he was in a world of fire. The ubiquitous red magma was constantly boiling, gushing and bursting, and bursts of crisp explosions were heard. This is the underground area suitable for the evolution of fire-type pets. The fire source power is really magnificent. Looking at the surrounding fire attribute energy that seemed to be materialized, Chen Wei couldn't help but exclaimed. If it weren't for the recommendation of senior sister Tan, it would be really difficult for him to find such a suitable place for evolution. How do you feel? Should we go deeper? Chen Wei looked down at Yutong. This is great. Yutong's face showed an excited expression. Then let's get started, Chen Wei said with a smile. At this moment, Kai Ling suddenly looked at the hot magma flowing below, and her majestic dragon eyes were full of fear. There's something. Hearing this, Chen Wei was slightly startled. Completely different from the marginal area and the volcanic area, as an evolutionary place, there should be no exotic beasts living in the underground area. Hey, interesting little guy, you can actually find me, an interested voice suddenly sounded. At this time, the already violent magma river seemed to be stimulated by something and gathered into a surging lava wave, and under the huge wave, an endless figure began to gradually appear. The first thing that caught Chen Wei's eyes was a huge hooked upper and lower jaw that was as sharp as an eagle's beak, followed by 2 curved red horns growing backwards from the back of the head, and finally a pair of eyes full of wisdom and an extremely slender neck. Looking at this shocking scene in front of him, Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing his throat. This unknown beast had a sense of covering the sky and the sun just by showing its head. It was hard to imagine how huge its body was. Little guy, are you the beast master recommended by Tan Yatao? Hearing this, and then noticing the scrutinizing eyes of the giant beast, Chen Wei was relieved and the signal stone in his hand loosened. Yes, senior, Chen Wei secretly glanced at the terrifying beast in front of him with his peripheral vision. If he guessed correctly, this beast should be the guardian of the Turtle Island volcano, the 7th level overlord beast, Melting Sun Island Turtle. It is said that the Zhuang rotating turtle of the dominant race can evolve into the Zhuang rotating turtle of the king race, and then evolve from the Zhuang rotating turtle to the Rongyang Island turtle of the overlord race. Chen Wei thought it was just a rumor, but he didn't expect that a small secret place like Turtle Island volcano actually had a dominant guardian. Fortunately, I didn't attack the Zhuang rotating turtle that was blocking the boiling hot crater. Looking at the domineering Rongyang Island turtle in front of him, Chen Wei couldn't help but praise his own caution. Not bad, I haven't seen such an interesting beast master like you for a long time. Rongyang Island turtle looked deeply at Chen Wei and his pet. For the sake of Tan Yatao, I will let you experience the heart-returning earth fire of the earth's crust. Remember, don't touch the heart-returning earth fire when you get there. After saying that, Rongyang Island turtle spewed a huge lava column towards the sea of magma. For a while, large waves of magma began to surround the lava column to form an extremely special flame channel. Go in. Through this channel, you can reach the heart of the earth's crust directly. Thank you, senior, Chen Wei bowed gratefully. Just as he was about to enter the channel, a voice suddenly sounded. Wait, Chen Wei looked at Rongyang Island turtle in confusion. I almost fell asleep. With your and your pet strength, Entering the heart of the Earth's crust will only turn you into ashes by the extreme high temperature. Before entering, I'll give you and your pet this stone to wear, fireproof colored glass, a level 6 fire beast resource, a glass stone made from the tortoise shell shed by Rongyang Island turtle. After wearing it, it has the ability to dispel high temperatures and survive in the heart of the Earth's crust. This, looking at the fireproof colored glass that flew into his hands from Rongyang Island turtle, Chen Wei's expression froze. In other words, he was protected by Bailuo, and he could still survive in the heart of the Earth's crust even without the fireproof colored glass. If it were someone else, he would probably die if he went down directly like this. After putting the fireproof colored glass on himself and his pet, Chen Wei, who felt a little unreliable, tentatively reached out to feel the temperature of the flame channel, and only stepped into it after confirming that it was safe. Looking at Chen Wei's disappearing back, Rongyang Island turtle slowly sank into the sea of magma. After 3,000 years, I still can't find any clues about the power of destiny. Could it be that the power of destiny mentioned by the Yam Saint is just a joke? With such doubts, Rongyang Island turtle began to go deep into the ground, and then searched for the illusory power of destiny in the legend. In the depths of the dead heart of the Earth's crust, a young figure slowly appeared, and he was covered with a layer of light red protective shield. Is this the homecoming Earth fire? Looking at the dark black strange flame not far away, Chen Wei activated the delusion-breaking spirit eyes. Homecoming Earth fire, a 7th level fire-type top-grade resource, a mysterious flame born in the heart of the Earth's crust, containing the destructive power that triggers supervolcanic eruptions, and an epic Earth fire that can create and even reshape the Earth. The breath it emits can increase the success rate of fire-type pets when evolving. The moment the information about the homecoming Earth fire emerged in his mind, Chen Wei couldn't help but smile excitedly. Although it is forbidden to touch this thing, he is satisfied to be able to touch the majestic fire energy emitted by the homecoming Earth fire. Finally, we can start evolving this time. Meow. Okay. Seeing that Yutong was ready, Chen Wei took out all the evolutionary resources he had prepared from the star ring. Fire essence mysterious crystal, 100 years of refining crystal, fire pattern grass, 100 crystal vine, and purple light crystal tiger magic core are all necessary evolutionary resources for the Yanjing doll. In addition, Chen Wei also added 3 high-level beast control resources, Great Sunfire Seed, Flame-Breaking Rainbow Dragon Magic Core, and Light Flame Unicorn Magic Core. Since the 7th level and 6th level beast control resources have been used, Chen Wei's goal is certainly not to be satisfied with just the Yanjing doll led by Choran. And unlike the returning Earth Fire, Yutong, who has refined the Great Sunfire Seed many times, has a high resistance to the Great Sun True Flame. Should I use 3 high-level dragon crystals for this evolution? Or all 9 high-level dragon crystals? Looking at Yutong in front of him with an impatient look on his face, Chen Wei gritted his teeth and made up his mind. Chapter 266 Island Turtle Out of Control. Either don't do it, or do it big. Thinking that he had changed the evolution route of the Yanjing puppet beyond recognition, in order to maximize the success rate and strength of the evolution, Chen Wei planned to go all in and put all the high-level dragon crystals that he had worked hard to save for a long time into this evolution. After all, there were too many high-level beast resources used this time, especially the 7th level fire resource, the Great Sunfire. Even if the Great Sunfire is far inferior to the homecoming Earth Fire in terms of rarity, it is still a valuable resource that can allow pets to evolve into a dominant race. Coupled with the top-quality 6th level king resources, such as the Yanzhuanghong Dragon Magic Core and the Guangyan Unicorn Magic Core, you can imagine how much pressure Yutong was under when evolving. You know, when a pet evolves, the more and more advanced a beast resources are, the better, but it depends on the potential of the pet and the fit of the evolution resources. If the potential of the pet is not outstanding enough, blindly investing in high-end evolution resources will lead to the failure of the pet's evolution. Because the potential of the pet determines its growth ability. Similarly, if the potential of a pet is high enough, high-end beast control resources can raise the upper limit of the pet's future. Otherwise, if you can easily get a pet of the king race by spending resources, the high-level pet evolution roadmap will not be strictly sealed by the Beast Control Association. Yutong's potential has been enhanced to the highest level of heaven by Chen Wei using the power of dragon control, which is why he dares to use so many high-level beast control resources. If a pet with insufficient potential dares to do this, it will die immediately after trying. At this time, Looking at Yutong, who was devouring the fire essence mysterious crystal and the 100 years refining crystal, Kailing's eyes revealed some memories and tension. When she was evolving, the liar Chen Wei was still a poor boy who was reluctant to let himself eat a few more bites. At that time, let alone the 4th level beast control resources, even the 3rd level resources were rare. After spending so many high-level beast control resources, I don't know what form my little brother can evolve into. Can he surpass me? Thinking of this possibility, Kailing couldn't help but take a deep breath and began to stare at Yutong closely. Rolled up, looking at Kailing, who seemed to be stimulated, Chen Wei couldn't help but smile, and then touched her head. Don't worry, I have almost prepared your evolutionary resources, and you can evolve again when the time comes. Yeah, Okap. Kailing glanced at the big sunfire in Yutong's hand, and a firm expression appeared on her face. It was the same evolution, and she didn't believe that she would lose to the younger brother who came later. At this time, Yutong had eaten all the beast control resources that could be swallowed into her stomach according to the evolutionary route of the Yanjing puppet, and then looked at the Beastmaster. Looking at Yutong, who had transformed into titanium crystal posture and exuded a majestic source of power, Chen Wei nodded, his heart full of expectations. Let's start this evolution beyond the limit. Seeing that the time had come, Yutong could no longer endure the faint call from her blood, and merged herself with all the beast control resources gathered around her. The dazzling light of evolution suddenly bloomed, and the light of the intersection of the beast control resources and the light of evolution illuminated Yutong's new future at this moment. That might be the strongest form of the titanium crystal puppet ever. Boom! As the source power storm caused by Yutong's evolution became more and more intense, the originally dead heart of the Earth's crust began to tremble constantly, and even the homecoming fire that had been burning quietly in the distance suddenly increased in flames. Wisps of black flames visible to the naked eye seemed to be attracted by the light ball that Yutong had transformed into, and they continued to pour into it. And with the addition of the homecoming fire, the big sun fire, which was not willing to be outdone, suddenly erupted. For a time, surrounded by the big sun true flame, Yutong's body was like a dazzling sun emitting terrifying high temperature. Under the baptism of the golden and black flames, all the white hair on Yutong's body disappeared, and it became charred black, and even her body seemed to be burned to ashes by the terrifying flames. As if unable to withstand the reshaping of the flames, Yutong's painful cries gradually came from the dazzling and gorgeous light of evolution. Sure enough, with the skill of swallowing fire, Yutong could withstand the transformation caused by the great sun true flame. Hearing Yutong's screams, Chen Wei subconsciously clenched his fists and looked at the light ball formed by the light of evolution with worry. Although the screams from Yutong were extremely tragic, this was a process that pets had to go through in order to evolve. As the evolution continued, through the feedback of the beast control contract, Chen Wei could sense that Yutong's breath was growing rapidly at a lightning speed. At this time, in the dazzling light of evolution, the majestic energy transformed by the high-level dragon crystal condensed and reshaped Yutong's burnt flesh, bones and heart. Then, with a blessing of pure dragon power, its eyes, like red and blue sapphires, bloomed with mysterious brilliance, and ancient and glorious runes quietly emerged in Yutong's pupils. Along with the appearance of these profound runes, a mysterious energy that had been hidden in the heart of the Earth's crust for thousands of years and no one could detect slowly emerged. Boom! This majestic and vast force of destiny seemed to have found its destination. The wandering energy was like many rivers returning to the sea. Under Chen Wei's surprised eyes, a huge energy light column that penetrated the sky and the earth completely covered Yutong's evolutionary light. What? Looking at the shocking scene in front of him, Chen Wei couldn't help but shrink his pupils. Even the light of evolution can be submerged. What on earth is this huge light column that appeared inexplicably? Little guy, what are you doing? Just when Chen Wei was shocked, a flame channel suddenly emerged from the heart of the Earth's crust, and a terrifying head that covered the sky and the sun slowly poked out of the channel. Fuck! Seeing this light column that existed in history, Rongayang Island Turtle blinked his eyes in disbelief. After finding that he was not mistaken, the hideous head couldn't help but reveal an incredible expression. Senior. Chen Wei looked at the Rongayang Island Turtle in front of him, who was in a daze, and couldn't help but call out. However, Rongayang Island Turtle still looked absent-minded and had no reaction at all. There was no other way. Fearing that something might go wrong, Chen Wei had to call out to his senior again. How is it possible? No, I don't believe it, a hysterical voice suddenly sounded. As if it couldn't believe what was happening, the Rongyang Island turtle's huge head began to swing wildly, causing a violent sonic boom and a surging shock wave. Seeing this, Kailing quickly blocked in front of Chen Wei, and a series of frosts surrounded the Beastmaster in an instant to protect him. Senior, please calm down. Chapter 267 Overlord Confrontation. Even if the 7th level Overlord just made an unconscious attack, it had a terrifying power that could destroy the world. Boom. Unfortunately, the gap between the two was too big. The frost ring released by Kailing could not even last for a second and collapsed under the violent shock wave. Seeing this, Kailing hurriedly activated the big and small Rui skills and used her huge dragon body to protect Chen Wei heavily to prevent the Beastmaster from being hurt. What a terrifying power! After the shock wave subsided, Chen Wei took a breath of cold air and looked at the stones around him that were shaken into powder. He looked at the direction of Yutong's evolution with worry. At this time, the bright evolution light did not dissipate. It seems that the huge mysterious light column has a very strong protective ability, and Yutong's evolution was not interrupted. Damn, what happened? Looking at the Rongyang Island turtle that suddenly lost control in the distance, Chen Wei frowned slightly. Although he didn't know why, if he indulged this secret realm guardian to continue to go crazy, it would inevitably affect Yutong's evolution. Could it be that we have to fight a dominant battle with Rongyang Island turtle in the heart of the Earth's crust? Chen Wei's face was full of solemnity. On the other side, Rongyang Island turtle, who only had the power of destiny in his eyes, still looked crazy. It's been 3,000 years. Why on earth is this happening? Rongyang Island turtle, who missed the power of destiny, raised his head and roared unwillingly, and then stared straight at the huge light column in the distance. As a long-lived turtle overlord, the upper limit of the lifespan of the 7th level Rongyang Island turtle far exceeds the 500-year limit of the epic Beastmaster, reaching a terrifying 9,000 years. Of course, due to the influence of battles and hidden injuries, few Rongyang Island turtles can live to 9,000 years old and die of old age. Therefore, the 3,000 years of pursuing the power of destiny has occupied half of its long life for the Rongyang Island turtle full of obsession, which is also one of the reasons why it loses its mind. Mine, this is mine. Perhaps because of the influence of obsession, Rongyang Island turtle began to slowly move its huge head towards the direction of the light column. It seems that fighting is inevitable. Seeing the situation develop towards the worst scene, Chen Wei's heart sank, and he took out Bai Luo's special source stone in his hand. He doesn't cause trouble, but he is definitely not afraid of trouble. No matter what, he can't let this Rongyang Island turtle interrupt Yutong's evolution. I hope Bai Luo can delay the Rongyang Island turtle. With this thought, Chen Wei crushed the source stone. Although they are both overlord beasts, the wood system will be restrained by the fire system. With such a disadvantage, he doesn't ask Bai Luo to defeat the Rongyang Island turtle, as long as he can delay Yutong to complete the evolution. Dare to attack the student's evolving pets without reason. If Yutong gets into trouble, even if it is a 7th level overlord beast, I will make you pay for it. Chen Wei stared at the Rongyang Island turtle and made up his mind. Without overwhelming strength, it is difficult for a Beastmaster to kill an overlord. If you rely on the mountain will fall, and if you rely on people will run away. You must be prepared for the worst in everything. Chen Wei is very clear about who is more important between a genius freshman and a 7th level overlord. No matter how promising a beast-taming genius is, if he dies before becoming a strong man, he is not a genius. If Zidane University cannot give him a fair treatment because of a dominant beast, he does not mind changing to another university. Anyway, he can also make a name for his master by studying at Liushu University or Chihuan University. As for the option of asking the master to help put pressure on the school, Chen Wei ruled it out immediately. He is not an ungrateful person. He has received so much care and concern during this period. How can Chen Wei have the nerve to let the master fight against a dominant guardian because of him? Anyway, as long as he has enough time to develop, he can easily wipe out a crazy dominant beast. These complicated thoughts flashed through Chen Wei's mind. At the same time, the space around Chen Wei began to show waves of silver-white ripples, and Bai Luo's familiar figure suddenly appeared. Shiji, Greek letter Omega, it's hot. Sensing the extreme high temperature around him, Bai Luo blinked a little uncomfortably. Bai Luo, stop it, it wants to interfere with Yutong's evolution, Chen Wei ordered immediately. Hearing this, Bai Luo, who was about to act coquettishly to the Beastmaster, condensed her eyes, and her gentle expression suddenly became serious. "What? Who dares to bully my little sister?" Hearing this, a vast and terrifying breath suddenly erupted from Bai Luo's body. It turned into a silver light and shuttled through space at a speed as fast as a whirlwind, and stopped in front of the huge head. "Get out of the way," a thunderous voice sounded. Looking at the unknown overlord beast that suddenly blocked its way, Ronggyang Island Turtle's eyes flashed with a fierce light. No one can compete with it for the power of destiny, which is what the ancestor left behind. Yangyang Island is destroyed. Ronggyang Island Turtle raised its head, and the lava tortoise shell hidden outside the crust lit up with a very hot rainbow light, and the violent flames that seemed to be able to devour everything gushed out of its bloody mouth. At this time, the magnificent power of Ronggyang Island Turtle has reached its peak. Even Chen Wei, who was watching from a distance, couldn't help but shrink his pupils. Pet name, Ronggyang Island Turtle. Pet attributes, fire, earth, racial level, epic overlord, strength level, lower level 7, racial skills, power of carrying island, divine flame earth punishment, sun flame sunset, sun flame island destruction. Pet introduction, Ronggyang Island Turtle carries a super volcano on its back. The island behind it contains the power of magma that can destroy everything. It is an ancient overlord with the power to rule lava. "Can you stop it?" Chen Wei's face showed nervousness. Although he believed that Bai Luo's strength was enough to delay time, he had a vague ominous premonition in his heart. Just as the two were about to collide, Bai Luo's green pupils passed a trace of solemnity, and a small black hole emitting dark light suddenly appeared on its little hand. Then, a shocking scene happened. Bai Luo's small body exuded an unstoppable momentum. The huge flaming jaws of Ronggyang Island Turtle suddenly collapsed when they touched the black hole, revealing the dark hooked jaws with a metallic luster. Seeing this, Ronggyang Island Turtle's blood-red eyes flashed with fear. What happened? The Yangyang that could burn everything was instantly annihilated by an inexplicable black hole. When the opponent was about to dodge, the black hole in Bai Luo's hand did not hesitate at all, and quickly turned into a black light and slapped the Ronggyang Island Turtle's head fiercely. Bang! A terrifying sound rang out, and Ronggyang Island Turtle's eyes turned red. The head that covered the sky and the sun began to retreat rapidly under Bai Luo's fierce blow, and formed a strange right angle with the slender neck. Roar! A deafening roar sounded. Looking at this tiny and strange beast in front of him, Ronggyang Island Turtle was full of anger. After suffering a small loss, it could clearly feel that this tiny beast also contained a terrifying power of the overlord level. P.S. I saw a lot of monthly tickets yesterday. Thank you readers for voting. Chapter 268 Overlord Retreats. After one move, the atmosphere fell into a tense atmosphere, and the two powerful 7th level overlords began to confront each other. The earth-shaking and domineering pressure was deadlocked in the long silent heart of the Earth's crust with a terrifying momentum. "Get out of the way, or die here." Even though it was hit hard in the face, the tone of the Ronggyang Island Turtle was still fierce and even a little arrogant. Because of its huge size, only a part of its body can appear in the heart of the Earth's crust, and its strength is extremely limited. But if the overlord beast in front of it continues to block it, even if the heart of the Earth's crust will collapse and be destroyed because of its huge body like an island, the Ronggyang Island Turtle will resolutely attack with all its strength. "Leave here." Bai Luo waved her hand, and several small black holes surrounded it again, and a terrifying sense of oppression suddenly vented towards the giant beast in front of it. "Okay, very good. Since you won't retreat, I will bury you with the Earth's crust heart." As soon as the words fell, Ronggyang Island Turtle did not hesitate at all. A surging fire source power suddenly burst out from its body. The huge flame channel behind it expanded rapidly in the blink of an eye, and the surging flames enveloped the entire space. "Repel it, don't let it affect Yutong's evolution." Looking at the lava turtle body vaguely appearing on the other side of the flame channel, Chen Wei narrowed his eyes slightly, staring at the boundless and terrifying body, his palms full of sweat. The space in the Earth's crust heart is limited. If the tens of thousands of meters of terrifying body of Ronggyang Island Turtle is allowed to completely break into the Earth's crust heart, the violent source power storm caused by it may affect Yutong's evolution, which is something Chen Wei absolutely cannot accept. Instead of this, it is better to let Bai Luo go all out, even if the confrontation between the overlords will also cause the energy in the Earth's crust heart to run away. Looking at the light ball behind him, Bai Luo's green pupils flashed a bit of determination. The next second, the scorching ground began to collapse, and countless dragon-like thick beards rose from the ground. A large number of trees gathered into a huge primeval forest to protect the location of Yutong and Chen Wei. Shiji, return to the original. As this sound fell, the dark mist that seemed to be able to swallow everything quickly flowed over Bai Luo's body, and a huge dark black hole that seemed to be materialized suddenly appeared, and then instantly swallowed the giant beast in front of him. Roar! A shrill wail sounded. The terrifying power that suddenly erupted from Bai Luo's body made the Rongyang Island turtle's eyes reveal some unconcealable pain, and even the huge body revealed in the flame channel shrank. Boom! The Rongyang Island turtle's head shell, which was as defensive as a silver mountain and iron wall, began to break, and the flying shells turned into a sky full of flowing fire and bombarded the ground. In an instant, the heart of the Earth's crust began to shake, and dense and huge ravines appeared on the ground. Rongyang Island turtle endured the pain from his head and put one of his 10,000-meter-long sky-covering tortoise claws through the space channel into the heart of the Earth's crust. At this time, countless riotous fire source forces began to brew on the surface of its huge crimson claws, and a terrifying rainbow light that was difficult to look at burst out instantly. The extreme high temperature made the air distorted, and the terrifying power that seemed to destroy the world was vented from its giant claws without reservation. Divine Flame Earth Punishment. Rongyang Island turtle's eyes were full of murderous intent. As long as it can obtain the power of destiny, it will do whatever it takes. Seeing this, Chen Wei's pupils dilated slightly. The terrifying scene in front of him was like the supervolcano that destroyed the world in the ancient century. I don't know if Bai Luo can withstand it. Sensing the extreme power carried by this giant claw, Bai Luo's face changed slightly, but after looking behind him, he still did not choose to retreat, but chose to stop it head-on. True dragon guards the world. In order to prevent the violent source of power from affecting Yutong, Bai Luo clasped his hands together with a solemn expression. The pure dragon power in his body formed a dazzling halo that lingered on his body surface, and the ripples in the surrounding space began to tremble continuously. The entire heart of the Earth's crust was surrounded by the majestic dragon power and the power of space. It was as if time had stopped. The giant claws that fell from the sky of Rongyang Island turtle were suppressed by the materialized power of space in an instant. Then, with Bai Luo's slightly heavy breathing, the surging dragon power continued to vent from his body, and finally condensed into a majestic and terrifying energy dragon out of thin air. Looking at this energy dragon, Rongyang Island turtle's blood-stained head suddenly broke out in some cold sweat. However, in Chen Wei's eyes, with the huge size of the island turtle, even a little cold sweat from nervousness was more turbulent than the waterfall in Shushan City. This torrent of water might be able to flood some small lakes. It seems that Bai Luo is stronger. Looking at the majestic Bai Luo, Chen Wei's eyes flashed with surprise. The next second, the majestic dragon formed by Bai Luo's pure dragon power hit the giant claw of Rongyang Island turtle with an unstoppable momentum, and a deafening explosion sounded. However, at the last moment, Rongyang Island turtle still exhausted all its strength to break free from the suppression of the power of space, but the brilliant dragon continued to hit its giant claw covered with thick rock armor. Boom! Like the end of the world, the unprecedented roar of the giant beast spread throughout the heart of the Earth's crust. As the smoke and dust gradually dissipated, a huge sunken pit appeared on the foot of Rongyang Island turtle, and endless blood continued to flow out from it. For a time, even the ground under Chen Wei's feet was covered with a layer of blood. However, compared with these, what made Chen Wei more concerned was that a mysterious light column shrouding Yutong had quietly disappeared, leaving only the still dazzling light of evolution. It's gone. My power of destiny is gone. Ignoring the bleeding wounds on his body, Rongyang Island turtle looked at the direction where the light column dissipated in a lost soul, and then disappeared in Chen Wei's nervous eyes. A trace of helplessness flashed in Rongyang Island turtle's eyes. Now instead of staying to continue fighting, it is better to follow the track left by the power of destiny to explore. Maybe he can get the favor of the power of destiny. And if he really wants to fight to the death with this overlord beast, it will take at least 2 or 3 days to decide the winner. Now it has no time to waste. It is precisely because of this that Rongyang Island turtle chose to retreat without hesitation. During the whole process, he didn't even look at Chen Wei, and didn't even explain. In its opinion, even if Chen Wei is a genius introduced by Tanzuking, so what? If he is in a good mood, he can still take care of him. If he is in a bad mood, he will kill a 4th level source star ant. Chapter 269, Destiny Dragon Doll. As a pet of the lineage of the Saint Tan Shan, and with the strength of the 7th level overlord, Rongayang Island Turtle has a strong enough backer and strength, which is why it dares to take action. In the final analysis, Hanju Iao is indeed amazing, and it is indeed not Hanju Iao's opponent, but it does not believe that Hanju Iao will be hostile to itself because of a genius student. However, a beastmaster favored by the power of destiny may be a completely different concept. Thinking of this, Rongayang Island Turtle, who has been pursuing the power of destiny all the way, has a dark face. Either do nothing or do it to the extreme. If it weren't for the Overlord Beast blocking it, it would even want to get the power of destiny and then kill it on the spot, and then come up with a 3-point question. Unfortunately, it is not absolutely sure, which is one of the reasons why our Rongayang Island Turtle finally chose to retreat. However, the crime of attacking a student's pet can't punish me for anything. Rongayang Island Turtle's eyes flashed red. Even if Hanju Iao wants to take advantage of this little thing alone can't shake the status of a 7th level overlord. After all, Blue Star still respects strength. Zidane University will not lose a 7th level fighter who is obedient and has made many military achievements for a freshman, not to mention that they still have some of the legacy left by their ancestors. So, in the direction where the power of destiny left, a red light followed closely. The dead lava river left the last whisper of the Molten Sun Island Turtle. With the power of destiny, that little guy may have the possibility of becoming a legendary strongman in the future. Fortunately, this is just a small friction and he didn't offend him completely. At most, I will just avoid him in the future. On the other side, seeing that the battle was over, Kai Ling, who had been using his dragon body as a protective shield for Chen Wei, instantly turned into a miniature form. Thank you for your hard work. Looking at Kai Ling and Bai Luo, who was breathing a little hurriedly, Chen Wei thanked him. Chew, oh, it's okay, Yi. Bai Luo and Kai Ling shook their heads, their eyes nervously looking at Yutong's position, fearing that the youngest sister would fail to evolve. Similarly, sensing that Yutong had entered the most critical stage of evolution through the beast control contract, Chen Wei had no time to explore why the Rongayang Island Turtle suddenly went crazy. He looked directly at the dazzling white evolution light. Thanks to Bai Luo's protection, the battle fluctuations between the 7th level overlords did not seem to have any effect on Yutong's evolution. Under Chen Wei's gaze, Yutong's pure white hair began to emit an inconspicuous silver light, and as the silver light appeared and disappeared, Yutong's aura began to surge, and then began to decline. Level 3 lower. Level 3 middle. Level 3 upper. Level 3 middle. Level 3 lower. Seeing this shocking and strange scene, Chen Wei's face showed confusion. Don't pets have a surge in strength when they evolve? Why is Yutong in a special situation, with strength rising and falling? At this time, the reborn Yutong curled up into a ball. A dazzling colorful light suddenly burst out from its body, and the colorful light column that soared into the sky caused the space of the entire heart of the Earth's crust to begin to distort. Under the cover of the colorful light column, Yutong's skin, which was full of burns and blood, was instantly annihilated, slowly revealing the noble hair that looked like silver. Then, Yutong's left azure blue eye met with a black gemstone-like pupil, and the right red eye also began to meet with the azure pupil. As the two merged, a pair of diamond eyes that looked like the red sun suddenly opened, and an ancient golden rune slowly emerged from the pupil and dissipated. At this time, the energy surrounding Yutong formed a mysterious wheel of fate behind it. A strange energy spread quietly, and its strength also jumped 2 levels, directly stabilizing at the upper level of the 3rd level. So much, feeling the unparalleled powerful force in the body and the endless energy inside the light wheel behind him, Yutong subconsciously put away the ring of fate. Even though Yutong's consciousness was a little hazy because of the sudden increase in strength, it still knew that the ring of fate behind it was a great companion weapon that needed to be taken into the body and slowly nurtured. As Yutong absorbed the ring of destiny into her body, its already ridiculously exaggerated normal source energy value surged. Is this my evolved form? Looking at her sharp claws that looked like gold and jade, Yutong blinked in disbelief. Finally, the evolution is complete. Looking at Yutong, who is noble and mysterious in the distance, Chen Wei's eyes were a little obsessed. At this time, sensing the feedback from the beast control contract in his mind, Chen Wei closed his eyes. The white sparks on the source star suddenly gushed out a magnificent and extremely pure source power. This mighty energy not only rushed to the source star in his mind, but also to all parts of his body. Feeling his own strength and physique rapidly increasing, even the white sparks in his mind became much more vigorous, and Chen Wei couldn't help but let out a comfortable sigh. Such a pure power. It's a pity that K-Ling's evolution is still lacking factors, otherwise if there is another wave of evolution, she will take off directly. Unlike the jubilant Beastmaster, K-Ling's expression suddenly became serious when she looked at Yutong, whose aura was extremely strong and whose pressure almost overwhelmed her. It's over, my premonition has come true. It's okay that I can't beat Bai Luo, but why do I feel that I may not be able to beat Yutong, a younger brother who joined the team later? K-Ling found sadly that it seemed to have become the bottom of the team, and her face suddenly showed a little more regret. If I had known earlier, I would have used the Dragon Blood Fruit to break through the 4th level. On the other side, Bai Luo kept staring at Yutong, as if he was lost in thought. Yutong seems to have become more beautiful. Unlike K-Ling, who was particularly concerned about strength, it was concerned about the changes in Yutong's appearance after evolution. Chirp, can I evolve too? After thinking about it, Bai Luo asked the Beastmaster with some envy. Of course, looking at Bai Luo who was so excited by his words, Chen Wei's face suddenly showed a little more smile. Just because he can't do it now doesn't mean he can't do it in the future. Isn't it just an 8th level legendary resource? He will definitely give Bai Luo a perfect evolution in the future. Just when Chen Wei made up his mind, Yutong, who is already familiar with the energy in her body, instantly turned into a dazzling silver light and rushed into the arms of the Beastmaster. Meow, as a fragrance came, Chen Wei hugged Yutong, whose body shape had not changed, in his arms, and then activated his identification talent. Destiny Dragon Doll, and it has an unsolvable exclusive skill. After checking the identification results, Chen Wei couldn't help but widen his eyes. P.S. Thank you Kilthuzadii for the reward of 1,500 starting coins. Thank you for the many rewards, and thank you readers for voting and subscribing. I haven't thought about the information and skills of the new form yet, please let me think about it. Chapter 270 Eyes of Destiny. Chen Wei was shocked. He didn't expect that Yutong's evolution this time actually broke the common sense of race level evolution. She advanced 3 levels in a row and directly jumped from the extraordinary race to the brilliant king race, setting an unprecedented evolution record. But compared to these, what concerned him more was the mysterious attribute that Yutong had inexplicably added: pet name, Destiny Dragon Doll, pet attributes, Destiny, Fire, Dragon, Crystal, race level, Brilliant King, strength level, upper level 3, pet potential, heavenly grade top grade, pet skills, Destiny Sanction, exclusive, Destiny Holy Flame, Eye of Destiny, bathing in fire and devouring flames, flame dragon chasing the sun, eternal light body, King's Pressure, pet introduction, the sacred and unpredictable fate meets here. It is Destiny and the only one. As a sacred beast of destiny favored by the power of destiny, its growth limit is endless, and its body contains infinite sources of destiny. Those who are not of great luck will be exhausted and abandoned by destiny if they oppose it. What's the situation? It is normal for Yutong to have an extra dragon after evolution, but he did not prepare any destiny-related beast resources for this evolution. Could this sudden emergence of destiny power be the mysterious light column that appeared when Yutong evolved, and is it this thing that caused the Rongyang Island turtle to suddenly go crazy? Chen Wei's pupils suddenly shrank, and his brain worked rapidly. He instantly understood why the guardian of the secret realm would attack his pet. No wonder it can make the overlord beast lose its mind. I didn't expect that there is a destiny attribute in this world. Chen Wei was a little confused. Although time-related pets and space-related pets are rare, he has also learned a lot of knowledge about these rare pets in the beast-controlling illustrations, but destiny-related pets do involve Chen Wei's blind spot in knowledge. Meow, I have learned so many skills. Yutong raised her paw impatiently, wanting to show off her new power in front of the Beastmaster. Looking at Yutong in his arms, who wanted to show off her skills like a child, Chen Wei touched her head with some anticipation. It must be said that although Yutong's evolution this time has changed very little, only the hair and eye color have changed, but the temperament she shows is completely different from before. Compared with the naivety before evolution, Yutong's body surface now not only shines with a dreamlike light silver brilliance, but also the diamond-like dazzling eyes of the gods show ancient and mysterious light runes against a backdrop of magma, and exudes a kind of magnificent and noble temperament. Feeling the delicate and soft touch, Chen Wei said with a smile. Come on, show your kingly pressure first. Unlike the commanding pressure, the kingly pressure, as the iconic skill of the brilliant king race, can not only weaken the strength of the alien beasts whose race level is lower than itself, but also has the ability to make the alien beasts bow down and submit. In other words, relying on the powerful skill of the kingly pressure, the Beastmaster can recruit a large number of alien beasts in the wild or in secret realms through pets, and make them obey. Hearing this, Yutong's eyes condensed, and a sense of oppression, a majestic momentum that makes people can't help but submit to it, vented from its body. Yes, it's a little less domineering than K-Ling's dragon power, but a little more noble. After carefully sensing it, Chen Wei nodded with satisfaction, and then focused his attention on Yutong's other new skills. Skill, Eye of Destiny, level, 8th level legendary skill of Destiny, introduction. Everything has a destiny, which determines the luck, qualifications, opportunities, temperament, trajectory and all achievements that can be achieved in the future of a person or an alien beast. The Eye of Destiny has unpredictable power, and can see the fate of things in the 3,000 worlds. Fuck, Chen Wei couldn't help but swear when he saw the introduction of this skill. Being able to see the opportunities and achievements of others in the future, the Eye of Destiny is definitely a PY skill. In this way, not only can he build a good relationship with a future boss in advance, but he can also take some future Beastmasters as his subordinates according to the situation, and even directly snatch or get the opportunity of people with extremely high fate in advance. When he thought of the huge role that the Eye of Destiny skill could play in the future, Chen Wei's face was full of joy. Can you use the Eye of Destiny on me? Chen Wei couldn't help but ask. If he didn't experiment with such an outrageous skill, he really couldn't let it go. Meow, okay, Yutong nodded enthusiastically, and the mysterious and infinite ancient silver runes suddenly appeared in her dazzling diamond eyes. For a moment, Chen Wei suddenly felt that he was completely seen through. How is it? What's the result? Chen Wei asked excitedly. Yutong thought about it, but didn't know what to say. She directly used her mind to transmit the observed destiny to the Beastmaster's mind one by one. Visitor from another world, gold, second talent, red, possessing the second innate talent that is unique in Blue Star, and has the potential to become a legendary strong man, monster genius, purple, a peerless genius among 10,000, a monster in the eyes of geniuses, with an unimaginable progress speed in the field of beast control, energy like a dragon, green, only with great strength can one be strong, so it is extremely strong and indestructible. Both mental strength and physical strength are beyond the scope of ordinary beastmasters. They have a body of steel and iron, infinite dragon power, and the essence of their soul is even more outstanding. Recent opportunities, none. Recent luck, great luck. Future achievements? Chen Wei blinked his eyes in disbelief, and then a burst of ecstasy and shock surged in his heart. I didn't expect that something like luck, something illusory, actually existed in reality. The most outrageous thing is that my pet can use this unpredictable force of destiny to directly see through my identity as a time traveler. Wait, I have a second innate talent that is unparalleled in the world, but my future potential is only legendary? Is this too low? Or is it more difficult to become an immortal demigod than I expected? Chen Wei, who came back to his senses from the excitement, was surprised. Although the legendary strongman is already the supreme existence that ordinary beastmasters can hardly reach, his goal is not just to become a legend. By the way, Yutong, how many times can you cast the Eye of Destiny in a day? Chen Wei asked subconsciously after realizing the horror of this skill. Meow, once a year, the cooling period is so long. Hearing this, Chen Wei's heart skipped a beat and he couldn't help but take a breath of cold air. It's over, now the talent search plan I just thought of is directly ruined. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271 Body of Eternal Light. Sure enough, such a powerful skill can't be without limits. Chen Wei felt a little uncomfortable when he thought that such a magical skill couldn't be used every day. Fortunately, a year is a long time for ordinary people, but it is barely acceptable for beastmasters. Even if Yutong can only cast the Eye of Destiny once a year, in 10 years, he can also build a powerful force with a promising future. Thinking of this, Chen Wei turned his attention to another destiny skill awakened by Yutong. Skill, Holy Flame of Destiny, Level Destiny and Fire Dual Skills. Introduction. The supreme flame condensed by the power of destiny fused with the source fire of destiny is extremely powerful. When this skill reaches the perfect level, it not only has an ultra-high temperature comparable to the core of the sun that can burn everything, but also contains divine power enough to change destiny. Note, changing destiny is a miracle that goes against the will of heaven. Only those who can fully withstand the burning of the holy flame of destiny can change their destiny. Change fate. Chen Wei wiped his eyes in disbelief, then his eyes suddenly widened. What the hell? This holy flame of destiny is powerful, but it's too powerful to change the predetermined fate. The ability to play with fate like this seems to have stepped into the realm of gods. Is this really a skill that the king race pet can master? It really deserves to be a beast of destiny with infinite potential. However, when he thought of the lesson he just learned, Chen Wei forcibly suppressed his inner excitement and body trembling, and asked, "How many times can you cast your holy flame of destiny in a year?" Seeing this, Yutong blinked and said uncertainly, "Meow, this skill seems to have no time limit." Chen Wei's eyes lit up and a smile appeared on his face. "Then can you cast it now?" Yutong frowned, looked around, and said cautiously, "Meow, this skill is very dangerous, you need to keep your distance." "No problem." Chen Wei did not hesitate to pull the two pets beside him who were full of envy and retreated a long distance. Looking at the Beastmaster in the distance, Yutong raised her right paw, then closed her eyes and began to prepare. Under the expectant gaze of Chen Wei and the two pets, time passed slowly. 1 minute passed, and Yutong still stood there motionless. 5 minutes passed, and Yutong began to exude an amazing momentum. Is the precasting time of this skill so long? Looking at Yutong who was concentrating in the distance, Chen Wei couldn't help but frown. In a battle, no matter how powerful a skill is, as long as the casting time is too long, it is completely rubbish, because the opponent will not give you time to prepare completely. But this kind of skill is an exception if it is used on the battlefield. There is a fixed beast team in the alien beast battlefield responsible for protecting the output, so that a skill with enough power can completely make up for the shortcomings brought by the casting speed. While Chen Wei was thinking, Yutong was ready. A mysterious silver flame slowly emerged from Yutong's hand. At the same time, the already extremely high temperature in the heart of the Earth's crust rose sharply. In an instant, even the fireproof glass on Chen Wei's neck felt like it could not hold up. Feeling the death crisis brought by the small flame, Chen Wei subconsciously looked at the pet beside him. At this time, Bai Luo's face showed a trace of solemnity and worry. It was worried that Yutong would be injured by the holy flame of destiny. On the contrary, Kayling looked at the holy flame of destiny on Yutong's claws with an envious expression on her face. Looking at Yutong's sweat, Chen Wei quickly conveyed his thoughts. It's okay, he was just testing his skills this time, and testing to this extent was enough. Hearing this, Yutong took a breath, and then threw the flame in his hand to the ground in the distance. The next second, as if wiping dust, no sound came out, leaving only a bottomless crystal pit on the ground, and then emitting extremely hot energy that distorted the space. Seeing this, Chen Wei's eyelids twitched slightly. What an outrageous fire damage! Chen Wei suddenly had such a thought in his mind. Even if it was a 6th-level king beast, if it took Yutong's terrifying holy flame of destiny head-on, it might be directly evaporated. He looked at Yutong, who was flying in front of him and breathing a little quickly, and asked curiously, "Can the casting time of holy flame of destiny be shortened?" Yutong nodded, but then shook her head. "Meow, Greek letter omega, the time cannot be shortened, but holy flame of destiny can be prepared in advance." Chen Wei was slightly stunned. Good guy. If this holy flame of destiny can be prepared in advance, wouldn't it be Yutong's trump card, and whoever it meets can be killed in seconds? However, these are only the 2 racial skills that Yutong awakened, and there are still 3 skills that Chen Wei has not checked. For example, the 3 racial skills of Heavenly Sanction, Exclusive, Eternal Light Body and Flame Dragon Chasing the Sun. Looking at the introduction of these skills, Chen Wei couldn't help but complain in his heart. Is this the king race? It directly obtains 5 powerful skills in one evolution. It's not too much to call this a hegemon or even a legendary race. Skill, Flame Dragon Chasing the Sun. Level, 6th level Dragon Fire Dual Skill. Introduction, the iconic skill of the Flame Broken Rainbow Dragon, which condenses into a small sun with the power of dragon fire. The dragon that heats the small sun will temporarily increase its strength by 1 level, and the power of fire skills will increase by 50%. And the power of dragon skills will increase by 30%, which will last for 15 minutes. Chen Wei's face was very calm about this. Although this skill is extremely powerful and even created the great reputation of the king race, Flame-broken Rainbow Dragon. Compared with Yutong's first two skills, Chen Wei can only give two words, that is, garbage. Skill, Eternal Light Body, level, 6th level Light and Destiny Dual System Growth Passive Skill, Introduction. The extremely noble beast of destiny resists all abnormalities. Any mental skills, abnormal state skills, and physical interference skills with a level lower than the Eternal Light Body will be invalid, including skills of the same level. Outrageous. This is the growth type passive skill brought by the magic core of the Flaying Unicorn and the power of destiny. Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing. From today on, he dared to declare that the Destiny Dragon Doll is the nemesis of all spiritual and dark beasts. With a skill, Yutong can completely crush the spiritual and dark beasts that are difficult to deal with in the eyes of beastmasters. No, speaking of spiritual pets, it seems that his own K-Ling is also one of them. Thinking of this, Chen Wei looked at Yutong and K-Ling with a strange expression. Good guy, spiritual skills below the 6th level are directly invalid, and the targeting is so strong. It seems that K-Ling will have a hard time being the big sister. Chapter 272, Heaven's Sanction. Sensing the malicious gaze of her own beastmaster, K-Ling looked at Chen Wei with a puzzled look. It's okay. Chen Wei shook his head and looked at Yutong's last skill, which was an exclusive skill he had never heard of. Skill, Heaven's Destiny Sanction, level, 6th level Destiny System Exclusive Growth Skill, Introduction. The Beast of Destiny gathers the power of destiny that resides on its body through the companion weapon Wheel of Destiny to form an unparalleled light of sanctions, which has the powerful power of moving mountains and crossing seas. The light of sanctions locks the target through destiny. It is a must-hit annihilation skill, and there is a certain probability that it will directly wipe out the unlucky opponent, ineffective if the strength gap is too large. Note, the opponent cannot dodge this skill, cannot use source power to defend, and can only resist through source equipment, physique, mental power and luck. Seeing this exclusive skill, Chen Wei was silent. This exclusive skill is the discrimination of the European Emperor against the non-Europeans. It ignores the source power defense, and directly wipes out the unlucky opponents. How can the unlucky beasts fight against Yutong? Chen Wei was surprised, and then a burst of joy came over him. This is not a king race at all. With his extraordinary skills, it is not too much to be rated as a legendary race now. Thinking of this, Chen Wei showed a smile on his face. He used the Pahun Ling Eye to check Yutong's strength and normal source energy value, which were indeed within the scope of the king race. However, if those terrifying racial skills were counted, Yutong's potential was far more than that of the king race. After taking a look at Yutong in his arms, Chen Wei took out a pair of advanced source energy glasses from the star ring. Although he could use the Pahun Ling Eye to detect the detailed source energy value of the pet, and the identification results were more accurate than those obtained by the source energy glasses, there were still some differences between the source energy standards identified by the Pahun Ling Eye and the source energy indicators set by the Beast Taming Association. He wanted to know what would happen if he used the energy glasses to check Yutong's evolutionary form. Ding. Pet, normal energy value. 35,570. This energy value has exceeded the energy value limit of the 3rd level king race, and it is only 4,430 energy points away from the lower limit of the 3rd level overlord race energy value set by the Beast Taming Association. Chen Wei glanced at K-Ling beside him without leaving a trace. You know, K-Ling's current normal energy value is only 14,000. Meow, do you want to try the punishment of destiny? Yutong blinked her diamond-like dazzling eyes. Hearing this, Chen Wei nodded and chuckled. Just try it once. The next second, the majestic energy surrounding Yutong suddenly burst out, and a mysterious wheel of fate suddenly appeared behind it. Against the backdrop of the wheel of fortune, Yutong exuded a vast and noble aura that made people dare not look directly at her. Then, an overwhelming silver beam of light suddenly emerged from the wheel of fortune behind it. In just a blink of an eye, the already bumpy ground had a dark hole with a diameter of several thousand meters and a bottomless depth. Looking at this amazing destructive power, Chen Wei couldn't help swallowing his throat. It is no exaggeration to say that under the same level of strength, the destructive power of Yutong's exclusive skills has far exceeded K-Ling's infinite ice tornado. Similarly, K-Ling, who watched Yutong show all her skills, glanced at the Beastmaster with grievance. Yi, I want to evolve too. When you practice to the perfect level and accumulate dragon essence to the limit, we will start evolving, Chen Wei comforted. Hearing this, K-Ling's expression froze. It is not that easy to practice the wind and rain calling to perfection. It has only mastered the proficiency level so far, not to mention the Dragon Yuan power that is like a black hole that can never be filled. Thinking that the next evolution is far away, Kaylin gritted her teeth and made up her mind. Open the book, open the book. If 1 month doesn't work, then 1 year. I don't believe I can't handle the wind and rain calling and Dragon Yuan. Okay, there's not much time left. We should go. Looking at the time displayed on the phone, Chen Wei reminded, and then he used his mental power to activate the Cogming stone bracelet. Before the transmission was about to be completed, he looked in the direction where the Rongyang Island turtle left. I heard that turtles are very long-lived. Rongyang Island turtle, you must survive well, obviously. Chen Wei, who was almost interrupted by the Rongyang Island turtle's pet evolution, has remembered this damn beast in his heart. On the ancient high platform, a fiery red transmission light disappeared in an instant. Looking at the top demon in front of him, who has been making a lot of noise in Zitan City recently, Qi Shandi's pupils suddenly shrank, and her eyes were fixed on Chen Wei. It's only been a day since we last met, how come his aura has suddenly increased so much? Could it be that he encountered some adventure in the Turtle Island volcano? Thank you, teacher, this is the bracelet. Feeling that the atmosphere was a little wrong, Chen Wei casually placed the Cogming stone bracelet on the table, thanked him, and strode out of the secret control room. Looking at Chen Wei's disappearing back, Qi Shandi took a deep breath and tried to calm the excitement in her heart. Tisk, who is not a genius among the beast masters who can enter Zitan University? Isn't it just that their strength has become much stronger? What's the point of this adventure? She murmured, as if to comfort herself. However, her slightly trembling white arms revealed her innermost thoughts. Damn it, even if I take a bottle of high-level elixir to practice, my strength won't increase so much in a day. After returning to his dormitory, Chen Wei glanced at the brightly lit luxurious villa not far from the window, which was Yu Zilman's residence, and fell into deep thought. Finally, he made a phone call. The teacher is currently in seclusion trying to break through the barrier of the Grand Master and has no time to participate in trivial matters. So Chen Wei didn't want his personal grudges to affect the Master's sect, but even so, he didn't hide the fact that he was attacked by the Guardian of the Secret Realm from his senior sister. After all, it's useless for him to hide this kind of thing alone, because there is still a certain connection between the Rongyang Island turtle and senior sister Tan. Besides, the attack of the Guardian of the Secret Realm on students can be big or small. As a victim, he is absolutely qualified to ask for justice from Zitan University. Hello, junior brother, what's the matter? At this time, Professor Tan's gentle voice came from the mobile phone. Senior Sister Tan, I want to ask you a question. If a Secret Realm Guardian suddenly attacks a student, according to the school rules of Rosewood University, what kind of punishment will this strange beast receive? Chen Wei asked straight to the point. Hearing this, Tan Zuking's beautiful eyes condensed, and she quickly put the ancient pill formula in her hand on the table and said seriously. Could that student be you, my junior brother? Chapter 273, The Talent of Medicine Saint. Sensing the worry hidden in Senior Sister Tan's gentle voice, Chen Wei felt warm in his heart. Yes, when Yutong was evolving, a 7th-level Overlord Molten Sun Island turtle suddenly attacked, he said in a calm tone. Tan Zuking frowned, and her thoughts turned rapidly. Although a new Beast Master had no chance of survival in front of a 7th-level Overlord, she still did not doubt the truth of Chen Wei's words. But the Molten Sun Island turtle knew that Chen Wei was Teacher Han's man. Unless it went crazy, it would never dare to kill the junior brother for no reason, but it was hard to say about the pet. How is Yutong now? Is she injured? Tan Zuking asked. No, Chen Wei shook his head. It was precisely because Yutong was not injured during this evolution and the situation did not get serious that he knew that he could not do anything to the Lava Island turtle for the time being. Hearing this, Tan Zuking's face relaxed. The death of a titanium crystal puppet was actually irrelevant to her, but what she cared about was whether her junior brother would be backfired by the contract, which would damage the Source Star and eventually affect Chen Wei's development potential in alchemy. Wait? Senior Rongyang Island turtle has been pursuing traces of the power of destiny throughout his life and has never violated the school rules of Rosewood University. Could it be? Thinking of this shocking possibility, Tan Zuking's voice suddenly became a little hoarse. Do you know that there is a legend about the power of destiny in the Ghost Island Volcano's secret realm? Chen Wei took a deep breath. Sure enough, It was because of the power of destiny that Rongyang Island Turtle resolutely attacked Yutong. I haven't heard of this legend, but after this evolution, Yutong has an additional attribute of destiny, he confessed truthfully. Chen Wei felt that there was no need to hide such a thing that could not be concealed, otherwise it would only arouse more suspicion. Tanzuking, what an international joke. Since the death of the Saint Tan Shenayao, tens of thousands of years have passed, and no Beastmaster has ever come into contact with the power of destiny in the Ghost Island Volcano's secret realm. As a result, his junior brother met her the first time he entered. Could this be fate? Tanzuking, who felt incredible about this, turned on the silent mode of her mobile phone because she was afraid that she would lose her composure and swear. Seeing a long silence on the other end of the phone, Chen Wei continued, maybe it's because of good luck. This time, Yutong evolved directly from a supernatural race to a king race, and her strength has skyrocketed a lot. I understand. Can you come to the number 2 teaching building now? We will talk about the next thing when we meet. Wait, or you can stay at home. I'll go directly. Your current residential address is the dormitory registered in this school, right? The voice of senior sister Tan came from the phone, which was a little impatient. Chen Wei, yes, that's right, beep beep. Looking at the hung-up phone in his hand, Chen Wei smiled helplessly. It seems that the power of destiny is indeed a rare treasure. Now even the senior sister who has always been calm is getting anxious. A minute later, the crisp doorbell rang. So fast, with this thought in mind, Chen Wei opened the door. Outside the door, Tanzuking, with her golden hair like a waterfall, was standing there waiting in her curvy instructor uniform. Her graceful figure and cold phoenix eyes gave her an intellectual beauty. Tanzuking carefully looked at Chen Wei and was relieved to find that he was indeed not injured. She suppressed her inner urgency and walked slowly into the hall. Can I see Yutong's evolutionary form? She asked curiously after taking the tea handed over by Chen Wei. Okay, Chen Wei nodded, and the star ring on his finger flickered, and the dazzling white rune array disappeared in an instant. Yutong's noble and powerful posture suddenly appeared in Tanzuking's eyes. Looking at a mysterious pet in front of her that made her feel threatened, Tanzuking was silent, and her eyes revealed a bit of shock that was difficult to conceal. Compared with Chen Wei's terrifying cultivation that had broken through the 4th level of the Source Star, she was more concerned about what the pet in front of her was. It is only the strength of the 3rd level upper or 4th level lower from the aura, but it can bring a slight sense of threat to me. In a sense, this is something that even the 6th level king pet can't do. Does it have a race name after evolution? Tanzuking said. Generally speaking, the attributes and specialties of the pet can be known from the race name alone. Destiny Dragon Puppet, Chen Wei said. Destiny Dragon Puppet, Tanzuking repeated. After evolution, in addition to the fate attribute, the titanium crystal puppet also added a rare dragon attribute. Is this a coincidence or the reason for the appearance of the power of destiny? Thinking of this, Tanzuking looked at Chen Wei deeply. Destiny. This unpredictable attribute actually appeared on a titanium puppet. It's no wonder that Rongyang Island Turtle couldn't accept it and even attacked on the spot. You know, even Tan Shenayao Shen, who was favored by the power of destiny, couldn't cultivate a fate beast, even if it was only a fate beast of the high-level extraordinary race level. Being able to drive such a high-ranking fate-related pet, junior brother Chen Wei might really have a chance to become the legendary medicine saint. Thinking of this possibility, Tanzuking's beautiful eyes lit up. The teacher is now in seclusion, and it is up to me to teach junior brother the knowledge of refining medicine. If Chen Wei can become a medicine saint in the future, wouldn't it be such an honor? However, how quickly this surprise came, and the fear that followed also surged into Tanzuking's heart in the blink of an eye. Fortunately, Rongyang Island Turtle held back at the last moment, otherwise if junior brother had something happened, I would have to pull out its shell. On the other side, seeing senior sister Ten looking at Yutong with the glowing eyes, and then gradually revealing a trace of cold murderous aura that makes people feel like falling into an ice cave. Chen Wei subconsciously put his hand on Yutong's head to comfort her, so as to prevent Yutong from doing anything extreme. Senior sister, feeling the increasingly cold temperature in the hall, he couldn't help but remind her. Ahem, Tanzuking came back to her senses and coughed twice, then asked seriously, what are you going to do with Rongyang Island Turtle? Hearing this, Chen Wei said firmly, I am not the opponent of Rongyang Island Turtle now, but I will definitely fight it after I become an epic master. As for whether it lives or dies at that time, it all depends on God's will. Tanzuking was slightly stunned when she noticed a confidence and murderous intent in Chen Wei's words. Could it be that Rongyang Island Turtle is really crazy and didn't hold back at all? Otherwise, how could the little junior brother have such a big grudge? But if that old thing didn't hold back, how did Yutong survive? Tanzuking frowned. Her tone was a little cold. Little junior brother, can you tell me the whole process of the incident? Chen Wei glanced at the senior sister in front of him, who seemed like a volcano that could erupt at any time, and said truthfully, if it weren't for Bai Luo, maybe Yutong and I would have died in the Turtle Island volcano. After hearing this, Tanzuking's face suddenly changed, and the momentum of an epic master suddenly erupted. Chapter 274, Outrageous Existence. Tanzuking didn't expect Rongyang Island Turtle to be so crazy. If the power of destiny could be forcibly snatched, Zidane University would have opened the Turtle Island volcano's secret realm to beast masters across the country, so as to find a furnace suitable for the power of destiny. Putting away the momentum that had just erupted, Tanzuking said with a frosty face, Junior brother, don't worry, senior sister will help you get justice. After all, it was the evolution secret realm that she recommended. Tanzuking felt that she also had some responsibility that she could not shirk. Dare to attack the teacher's students, Rongyang Island Turtle, even if it is the guardian of the secret realm left by Tanshan Iao Shen, must accept the punishment it deserves. Is this the terrifying momentum of an epic-level strong man? Feeling the murderous intent of senior sister Tan that seemed to freeze people's souls, Chen Wei was secretly shocked. Senior sister, although it seems a bit presumptuous to say this, I want to solve this matter myself in the future. He looked at senior sister Tan calmly and said. Yutong was not hurt in this incident. Judging from the results, even if he had the help of his master, the punishment for Rongyang Island Turtle, a 7th-level overlord beast, was very limited. Compared with letting Rongyang Island Turtle receive a light punishment now, Chen Wei wanted Yutong to get back on her own when the time came. Sensing the determination and murderous intent in Chen Wei's words, Tanzuking was slightly startled, and suddenly a bright smile appeared on her face. Since the junior brother wanted to use Rongyang Island Turtle as a whetstone on his growth path, as a senior sister, she would naturally not force Chen Wei to change his mind. After all, Chen Wei's future is definitely not limited to epics as a high-level pet beast, favored by the power of destiny. You know, no matter how good the relationship between the beast master and the pet beast is, the pet beast that evolves into a high level will take the initiative to cancel the beast contract because the beast master cannot bear his own luck. And since the junior brother was able to take the Destiny Dragon puppet as a pet beast, and attracted the 7th-level overlord to follow him with his own charm, these legendary deeds are enough to illustrate Chen Wei's infinite potential. Okay, I respect your idea, but Rongyang Island Turtle still needs to bear the punishment it deserves, Tanzuking said seriously. I understand, thank you, senior sister, Chen Wei bowed gratefully. By the way, can I meet Bai Luo? Tanzuking asked curiously. Since a 7th-level overlord that can dominate a place can put down his face and actively follow his junior brother when his strength is low, either it has a long-term vision or it has a good plan. As a senior sister, she feels that she needs to eliminate some potential hidden dangers for her junior brother. Hearing this, Chen Wei nodded without hesitation. No problem, although they have only been together for more than a month, he has a certain understanding of the senior sister's temperament. Compared with a 7th-level overlord beast, senior sister Tan, who pursues the ultimate in alchemy, may care more about a 7th-level spiritual medicine. As the ripples of space emerge, Bai Luo's figure quietly appears. It looks at the strange woman in front of it that it has never seen before, with a puzzled expression. Chirp. Is this an enemy? Sensing the friendly mood emanating from the other party, Bai Luo turned his head and looked at Chen Wei and asked. This is my senior sister Tanzuking. Chen Wei stroked Bai Luo's head and introduced her. Senior sister, Bai Luo opened his eyes wide and looked at Tanzuking curiously. Is this a carrot? Tanzuking's pupils shrank as she looked at the overlord beast in front of her, and she suddenly felt an unprecedented sense of absurdity in her heart. What a joke. The vegetables on the table of ordinary people can actually become a powerful existence of a 7th-level overlord. Is this a miracle of nature? You have to know that the 7th-level top-grade spiritual medicine, 9-leaf heavenly fragrance flower, that I spent decades and painstakingly cultivated has not yet become a plant-based beast of the overlord race, or the king race, heavenly fragrance flower girl. It's normal for one pet to have problems, but it's not normal for 3 pets to have problems. Sure enough, My junior brother is the synonym of miracles. Tanzuking glanced at Chen Wei speechlessly. Whether it was the Sky Nether Frost Flood Dragon or the Destiny Dragon Doll, or the Carrot Overlord in front of her, these were all mysterious pets that she had never seen before, and they were also not recorded in the Beast Taming Atlas. Outrageous. This is too outrageous. Even Tanzuking, who had experienced many hardships and now became an epic powerhouse, was a little envious now. Pay attention to your manners, Tanzuking muttered a few words in her heart, and then forcibly suppressed the excitement in her heart, and sighed. Ba Luo's aura is also very strong among the 7th level overlords, no wonder he can repel the Rongyang Island turtle. According to the most ideal situation, you can sign a beast control contract with Ba Luo when your source star reaches the 5th level, but if you want to avoid affecting your cultivation speed, I suggest that you sign a contract with Ba Luo after your source star is promoted to the 6th level. Otherwise, ignoring the gap in strength and forcibly concluding a beast control contract may bring a huge burden to your source star, Tanzuking reminded seriously. Okay, Chen Wei nodded with deep feeling. After he was promoted to the 4th level in Yuanxing, he tried to sign a beast control contract with Ba Luo several times, but the result was the same. Every time, the beast control array collapsed before it was connected. After touching Ba Luo's head a few times to satisfy his desire, Tanzuking stood up and said, I will keep Ba Luo's affairs secret for you, and I will try my best to shut up the Rongyang Island turtle. Not every epic beast control master in Donghu has a dominant pet. For the sake of caution, you'd better not summon Ba Luo in front of other epic beast control masters. Even though she knew that Chen Wei would be careful, Tanzuking still gave him a worried reminder in the end. Well, I know, I believe in my senior sister. Chen Wei nodded slightly, and couldn't help but feel relieved. There was no way. The moment he decided to let Ba Luo take action in the secret realm of the Ghost Island volcano, Ba Luo's existence had been exposed. He could only choose to trust his senior sister once. By the way, have you thought about it now? After school starts, will you choose to study the art of alchemy with me or participate in the training of the freshman army? Tanzuking suddenly asked. Chen Wei's expression froze. Senior sister is so good to me. If I choose to participate in the military training, would it be a bit? Seeing this, Tanzuking couldn't help but glance at Chen Wei and said, I understand, if you want to participate in the military training, just say it directly, you just need to follow your inner thoughts. Chen Wei smiled a little guilty. You still have to follow me to take the alchemy class tomorrow, you should rest early tonight, I'm leaving first. As soon as the voice fell, Tanzuking, who wanted to deal with the Rongyang Island turtle as soon as possible, got up and left. Looking at the senior sister who came and went in a hurry, Chen Wei showed a grateful smile on his face. Then he lowered his head and glanced at Yutuang. Every grievance has its perpetrator, and when the time comes, we will try to take the head of the Rongyang Island turtle. Chapter 275, High-Level Decision. As soon as she left Chen Wei's dormitory, Tanzuking reported the news that Rongyang Island turtle openly attacked the number 1 freshman for the power of destiny to the senior leaders of Zidian University. As soon as this shocking news came out, in addition to some beast masters who were practicing in seclusion, some senior school leaders who were rarely seen by Zidian University students gathered in a simple and elegant conference room that night. At this time, in the conference room, 9 beast masters with great reputations in Donghu were sitting around a round table with abundant source power. The power of destiny has appeared again. Is it true? At this time, an old man with simple clothes and macy hair couldn't help asking. Obviously, this old man was a beast master who had just come out of seclusion. The news sent by Tanzuking should not be wrong. It is said that the host chosen by the power of destiny is the pet of Chen Wei, the number 1 freshman of Zidian University this year, a refined middle-aged man wearing gold-rimmed glasses said in an incredible tone. Pet? What do you mean? The power of destiny can also be hosted in a strange beast, someone said in surprise. A woman with a delicate face and a domineering figure looked at Chen Wei's file in her hand, with a tone of envy. That's right, that pet is just a titanium crystal puppet of the extraordinary race. Such a weak pet can actually be favored by the power of destiny. Could it be that the power of destiny only chooses weak pets with predestined relationships? As soon as these words came out, the eyes of several beast masters in the conference room lit up. If they also got a titanium crystal puppet to enter the secret realm of the Turtle Island volcano, would they also be favored by the power of destiny? Ahem, The purpose of this meeting is mainly to decide on the disposal plan for the Rongyang Island turtle attacking students. Professor Tan, how do you think this incident should be handled? The first host of the meeting, an old man with a serious face and sharp eyes, said after coughing twice. The old man who spoke was Yun Zimo, a legendary Beastmaster, Vice President of Zidin University, one of the supervisors of the Donghu Kingdom Beastmaster Association, and also the strongest Beastmaster in Zidin University. Hearing this, Tan Zuking glanced to the leadership of the Tan Shan Yaosheng lineage and said solemnly, as the guardian of the secret realm, Rongyang Island turtle openly attacks students who entered the secret realm for its own selfish reasons. Such behavior that affects the reputation of Zidin University is definitely not a trivial matter. In order to prevent such incidents from happening, I suggest that Rongyang Island turtle be sentenced to death. Tan Zuking directly made a suggestion that was almost impossible to achieve. Execution? Isn't this too exaggerated? After all, Rongyang Island turtle is also a 7th level overlord, and has made many contributions to the school over the years. The elegant man wearing gold-rimmed glasses decisively objected. This person is Tan Yongzi, a legendary Beastmaster, Vice President of Zidin University, President of Zidin City Beastmaster Association, Director of the Beastmaster Department, and also the person in charge of the Tan Shan Yaosheng lineage. Meritorious is meritorious, and faults are faults. Rongyang Island turtle was specially rewarded by the school for his contributions. How can the merits and faults offset each other? Xiang Huangai, director of the combat department, said. But imposing a capital punishment is a bit exaggerated. How about sentencing the Rongyang Island turtle to 1,000 years of imprisonment, and not going out during the imprisonment? Hearing this, Tan Yongzi looked at Xiang Huangai with a serious face, and then looked at Tan Zuking. The lifespan of a legendary Beastmaster is only 1,000 years. What's the difference between this and life imprisonment? The woman with the domineering figure smiled. The lifespan of the Rongyang Island turtle is as long as 9,000 years. 1,000 years is not a life imprisonment. Looking at this woman who usually doesn't get along with him, Tan Yongzi was too lazy to say more and turned to look at the Vice President Yun Zimo. Anyway, the Rongyang Island turtle squatted in the Turtle Island volcano all year round and didn't go out. In order to pursue the power of destiny, he stayed at home for hundreds of years, and it has been more than 3,000 years. Although this 1,000-year punishment is a bit long, it is not painful for the Rongyang Island turtle, and he can still accept it. Yun Zimo said calmly, 1,000 years is indeed a bit long. How about 500 years? Professor Tan, what do you think? Looking at Yun Zimo, who was sitting in the main seat, knowing that this was the best result she could strive for, Tan Zuking had no choice but to nod helplessly. I have no objection. But I hope to add an extra condition. What condition? Yun Zimo said. After Chen Wei advances to the epic level, I hope they can have a battle to end their grudges. As soon as these words came out, the atmosphere in the conference room suddenly became silent. Epic masters are among the best in Donghu. Even if he is the top freshman at Zidin University, there are not many beast masters who can become epic masters after so many years. But when thinking of the horror of the power of destiny, the school leaders present did not think that a demon genius like Chen Wei would not be able to advance to the epic level. Thinking of this, Yun Zimo suddenly became interested. He ignored Tan Yongzi's changing expression and responded casually, okay, I agree to this condition. Seeing that the little junior brother had achieved his goal, Tan Zuking showed a mysterious smile on his face. This matter will not end so easily. She also has her own way of dealing with it. Is the gold content of the first place in the freshman class so high now? He was able to escape unscathed in front of the overlord. It's really the Yangtze River. The waves behind push the waves ahead. Maybe in the future, Rosewood University will have another legendary strong man. After the meeting, the sloppy old man sighed. Tan Yongzi frowned. Good guy. Even Tan Zuking only talked about epics, but she went straight to legendary. However, when he thought of this possibility, Tan Yongzi's face suddenly darkened. If the Rongyang Island turtle was not the pet left by Tan Shan Yaosheng, he really didn't want to get involved in such a mess that offended people, especially when the one who offended was a promising beast-controlling genius. The next morning, Chen Wei, whose cultivation level had greatly improved due to Yu Tong's evolution, first had a morning tea with Yu Zilman to celebrate, and then rushed to the alchemy room of Rosewood University to learn alchemy from senior sister Tan. At this time, in the alchemy room that exuded a faint medicinal fragrance, a bright light blue glow overflowed from the alchemy furnace. and then a blue pill with particles on the surface, but which made people salivate, fell into Chen Wei's hands under the control of his telekinesis. Not bad. It seems that you practiced a red cloud flame array diagram well last night, and your fire control skills and flame control reactions are much faster than before. Tanzuking, who was standing aside and watching the alchemy process, suddenly lit up her beautiful eyes, and did not hesitate to praise. It's still senior sister who taught well, otherwise my progress would not be so fast. Chen Wei looked at the Xinging pill in his palm with an excited smile on his face. With a demonstration of senior sister Tan, when activating the delusion-breaking spirit eyes, the only factor that limits the upper limit of his alchemy skills is the degree of control of the red cloud flame array diagram. After the source star cultivation level increased greatly, Chen Wei had a lot more time to study the red cloud flame array diagram. Last night's practice alone allowed him to draw 13 red cloud talisman arrays on the source star in one breath, bringing the total number of red cloud talisman arrays to 36. This was also the reason why he was able to refine a 4th grade top quality elixir today. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.